guys on video.
Is that we're gonna leave that in the video? We'll leave it. Fine, whatever.
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
I fake laugh. Sue me. Y'all aren't funny.
But we have to know what, like,
wait.
fake
We're
laugh
not
is.
funny to you?
No,
Is
like
that what you
not
said?
y'all. Like
Us?
y'all isn't like the people who try to
The
make
people.
me laugh.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't work. Like I'm not easily impressed.
Well, we know that.
He's not an easy gut buster.
I hate how like Helena like knows like me, but like no one else understands what she's laughing at. I feel like I can get it.
I do.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking lost.
Good, stay that way. You don't want to know what she's thinking.
You don't.
I'm lost too, so it's fine. We could just be like the lost side. We have no idea what's happening.
The Lost
Lost
Boys is my
over
favorite
here.
movie.
Yeah.
I think I know why I'm feeling so good. Like the weather is like what I want it to be.
Really?
Fall,
I hate
right?
this
Yeah.
weather.
I love fall.
I'm glad you could be accommodated.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, the weather was just changed just for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're missing
Specifically.
good stuff. You guys want to get started so we don't lose any of this?
Yeah.
The
Sorry.
weather?
Yeah, if you just
Yeah,
Talk
let's
about
turn
the
on this
weather.
weather shit.
yeah.
Can you curse on this?
Absolutely.
course.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Be filthy.
All the mics sound good.
Okay, great.
Adjusting things as we go. So I'm ready for music. And
Yeah.
then it's all
Yes.
you.
Please.
Here we go.
What episode is this? Fuck. Oh, okay. Check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means you're now tuned in. Actually, if you're hearing the sound of my voice or watching this on YouTube, that means you're now tuned in to chapter 104 of the Introverted Intuition podcast. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster, a.k.a. the Ambitious Introvert. To my left, I have Miss Helena, a.k.a. Young Snacks, a.k.a. Young Banana Pudding. Yeah. Say what's up to the people.
We're just gonna remove Young from my name. Okay.
To her left, we have Miss Coco, a.k.a. Power Walker. Miss Power Walker. She walked very fast after the podcast for some reason when we were leaving.
I just walk fast in general.
How are you guys?
That New York
Wow.
speed.
Exactly, New York speed.
And to my right, the return of the plus-size podcaster,
Yes.
Chocolate Rod, a.k.a. CR.
So delicious.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, people.
Man, we're about to get into you. We're about to get into you 1 second before we introduce our guest. I'm very concerned for CR right now.
Me?
I think
always
he's
have
go-
an issue.
No, but I honestly
let's
think
get into
but
it.
I honestly think he's going through an identity crisis, and I think it's going too
Let
far
him
at this
talk.
point.
What have I done?
Let him
So
talk.
a few weeks ago, we were
I
at
was waiting for this.
I was waiting for CR to come back because I was shocked. We were at Liz's sneaker event. Liz Beecroft, she released her Nike shoe.
Yes.
In your feelings.
In my fields, whatever. Yeah, shout out to her. Thank you for inviting us. And outside, there's someone waiting at the door with a guest list. Obviously, everyone's name is on there, right? So whatever you type in online is on that list.
Okay.
My actual name is there, Jeff. Whatever my last name is. I'm not going by the Petty Podcaster. I'm not going by the Ambitious Introvert.
Your real identity. Your true identity.
He was not born conscious rap, but he puts. She's like, "What's your name?" And he hesitates for a second. He's like, "Conscious rap." She gives like the craziest look. I don't know if you saw it. She's like, "Okay, this is his birth name, whatever." And she obviously finds his name on the list, but I was concerned in that moment because I feel like he can't even separate Rodley from conscious rap anymore. That's just what he goes by every time. And then a few weeks before that, we're outside. Before recording, another show comes out. Remember the big dudes, the guys were all over 200 pounds?
Okay.
Yeah. He introduced himself there as CR at Conscious Rap. And I'm just like, yo, that's not your name. I know you. I know your real name. Why won't you go by your real name ever?
Because I feel like if you're gonna search me online, you're not gonna. Well, yeah, you'll find Rodley Dort. Yeah, whatever. But CR's with the sauce.
CR.
If you,
I'm
yeah,
just
if you type
concerned.
in
Name
CR
is
Conscious
CR.
Rap, it's gonna have all my music, all my entertainment shit. That's my online.
You're there probably
persona.
gonna network and whatnot, so it makes sense.
And
Yeah.
unless I'm meeting you to fucking, chill and smoke some weed, I'm not giving you my real name. You know what I'm saying?
I just think it's gone too far and I'm concerned. Like,
I
do you
won't
remember your
lie.
real name? Like,
I thought, I don't know. One day I was like, what is CR's real name? It wasn't until I said that. I was like, oh, Rod. I'm like, okay. This time I thought, the whole time I thought it was Rodney. It's actually Rodley.
Yes.
But
Rodney?
it's like, his
Rodley.
name is CR.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
All right.
Even my family members call me CR.
But you
Yeah.
remember your
So-
real name is what I'm trying to get to. Like, you know
Yes,
that?
because
So
I
you're taking this
accidentally
too
gave
far,
her my,
Jeff,
my
because-
first name when I
No,
introduced
he's
myself
just
to
mad
Tori.
because you have to call him Jeff still.
He's just mad about the whole
Still
nickname
Jeff.
thing.
I'm not
so
mad.
it's
I'm just
a-
concerned
yeah.
about my
But
friend.
Jeff
That's it.
is a good nickname.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
I wasn't know. Am I allowed to speak? No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry.
Jeff, you
I'm
asshole.
sorry.
I was like, do I
we have
speak?
guests.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I had to get that off my
Because
chest.
I wanted to say something in reference, but
What can you introduce yourself first? Who are you?
yeah. Oh, hi. I'm Tori Piskin. I'm the guest on today's episode. I guess I'm really doing my intro here. Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to.
You know what this is like when someone's like, "Can you help me cook?" And it's like, "Okay," and then it's like, "Wait, actually, can you put the chicken in? Can you turn the oven on? Where's the ingredients? Can you look at the cookbook? I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. You think you can do the rest?"
That's exactly
I
right.
would've
That's
ruined,
a
like-
wonderful analogy.
If I would have tried to introduce you, it would have been horrible. Like you
Oh,
did
okay.
a great job.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Tori Piskin. I'm a comedian in New York City. I also have a podcast with my mom called Got It From My Mama.
It's so
And-
funny, guys. It's
Yeah, she's here in
hilarious.
spirit.
Yes.
I wish your
She's
mom
not
was
dead, but she's just
I was about to
sleeping.
say, what the hell?
She took a Xanax and she's sleeping.
Oh.
But I wanted to say about you using your name, your artist
Yeah.
name.
Mm.
I feel like that's what society is going to turn into. It's just going to be all of our Instagram names. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, "Hi, my name's Kelly," it's going to be like, "Hi, my name's Penny242."
Yeah.
And then like a heart emoji.
Word.
Like literally it's going to be like, "Hi, my name's Penny242." Heart, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay
Bound to
in the
happen. present
present and stay with the authentic life that we have been accumulated to. That's not
Accustomed
the right word.
to.
Accustomed to. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Accustomed to. And you're just not CR all the
Can I
time.
tell you something?
Does your girlfriend call you CR?
She does not.
Because
She
that would be
refuses.
alarming.
She refuses.
Unless she was a super fan.
Yeah, unless she was a super fan, but no, she does not. I've considered just going by my regular name, but I feel like I've done so much behind the name CR
Yeah.
that it'd be
It
like,
suits you,
huh?
and it suits you.
It suits me.
Yeah, I get it. But also that would be like if I went by my Instagram name, which is just it's my name, but it'd be like instead of being like, "Hi, my name's Tori Piskin," it'd be like, "Hi, my name's Tori Piskin." Like, do you know what I mean? Like there's no space.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Tori Piskin. They'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "Tori Piskin." You have to. There's no space
Oh,
between.
like, goddamn.
One word.
But I
Yeah.
do want a cool name I can actually go by. I don't think Jeff
The
is
petty
appropriate.
Petty
podcaster.
podcast.
I don't want like my mom to call me petty podcast or something like
Yeah.
that. I want like
I get it. You want
Yeah.
something your mom could call, yeah.
no, not just my mom, but like the world's like.
He's like, hopefully not just my mom.
Yeah. Do you have any nicknames?
No, but I wasn't. I mean, sometimes people call me Tor. My full name is Tori, and everyone always asks, like, "Is it Victoria?" And I'm like, "No, it's Tori." Like, sorry, I'm so fucking unique. And then, but then actually, I was in this like boxing class recently. I don't know
shit.
why. You know, I went through a bad breakup, and I feel like you
It's a
should
good
get
outlet.
a discount. You should get a discount on a psychic and a boxing class after a bad breakup. Those should be the two things,
I agree.
right?
Yeah.
I like how many people go to a psychic after a breakup? I bet you so many people.
I think I have. I've got like break up like a
Yeah,
friendship.
it's always after a breakup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or a boxing class
Not
too.
me, but that's
Not
what
you,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to a psychic while in a relationship, and they told us we were gonna break up, and we did.
Were you guys in? Did you go together?
Yeah. Well, we
Oh.
were in, there was two of them, so we were in separate rooms, and they both told us separately that we were gonna break up. And we, and
Oh,
we
that's
did.
probably just their shtick, but
Oh, shit.
Oh,
could
shit.
be.
True.
I mean, I believe in it, but
Or
at the
much-
same
much
time,
more
that could have been their
gypsies?
shtick.
I don't know, but it was a dope like apartment. It didn't even feel like a psychic
An
office.
apartment?
It was an apartment, yo.
They were like interns.
I don't know.
People
They got
gotta
me.
eat,
It was
you know, it's a
expensive
job.
too.
Really?
They got me. Yeah, they got me.
Well, I feel bad that you wasted the money to know
Other-
you were gonna dump.
I gave you that
Break
for
up.
free.
But I
But
could.
other than that, did
Yeah.
they, other than that, did they predict anything other than the breakup
I
that
just remember that.
that stood out to you?
Yeah, and they were right. It didn't work out.
I saw it too, you know. I read your cards for you. Come on.
I don't trust you.
What?
Do you have cards? Do you have tarot
You
cards?
do.
Yeah, but
You're
I
just
do.
scared to hear the
I
truth.
read you
It's
all
okay.
the time though. Anyway, I don't need no damn card.
We have a guest. So moving on.
Tori, welcome.
Thanks
Welcome
for
to the
having
show.
me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
You are a comedian.
Yes.
What is like your earliest memory of your interest in being a comedian or noticing you were funny? Like, did it start young or did it start recently?
No, I definitely think it started young. Well, I think I was always funny because when I was younger, I was very dyslexic. And I think I would always like compensate for not being able to read by like making people laugh. The earliest memory, honestly, I think I was doing like an Elvis impression. I remember at like some family event and I just remember I was able to like move my mouth and then I like heard a laugh.
Yeah.
And that was like really, I don't know, I must have been like 4 or 5 or something. That was pretty much my earliest memory. And then with my sister, I would make her film a lot of videos of me. It would just be like I don't know, like, but they were always like music videos.
Okay.
And I was always the star, and she was just filming me. But they were like funny, but then they were also like weirdly sexual. Like literally, there's a video of me. I'm like 8, and I'm doing like she bangs. Like, do you remember that Ricky Martin thing?
Of course.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm like wearing this like tank top, and I'm wearing this like bathing suit bottom, but it's like a cover up, and I'm wearing no underwear underneath, so you could like see everything. And I'm lifting it up, and I'm slapping my ass.
Okay.
And now my sister, who's like 10, is like zooming in, and like. The thing is, because like my parents knew that I wasn't good in school, so they let me watch whatever TV I wanted. So I was watching like Spring Break MTV at like a really young age. So I was like watching them. I was like, oh, like that's what you do. So yeah, I guess you could say I wanted to be funny and a stripper at the same time. It's basically what I'm trying to get at.
Did the stripping application not fall through, or this
Yeah.
comedy just came first?
Comedy just came first. I just realized, yeah. But I remember like an early age wanting to be a stripper too.
Oh,
That
shit.
never happened though.
That movie Striptease at an early age or something like that.
I don't remember that.
Or was it the Demi Moore movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So after I watched that Demi Moore movie, I want to be a stripper like Demi Moore. What movie was that?
It was
Striptease
mostly just
stripper.
MTV Spring Break. These girls would like lift
Wow.
up their shirts, and I'd be like, I want that. Like something was wrong with me. I don't know.
Were you like the class clown, like the person in your group of friends that made everybody laugh all the time?
Yeah, I definitely was making people laugh, and I think I was like the bully too.
Okay.
Interesting.
But I think people didn't know I was a bully because I come off very sweet, and I am very sweet. But I also think I'm like the girl who's like really nice, but then I would turn to my friend, I would say something like really mean, and then she'd be like, "That was really mean, but really funny, but also like really inappropriate."
The mean girl, but like,
Yeah, the mean funny girl.
oh,
That's
shit.
cool.
That's like,
No funny shit. I'm not trying to be like, but most redheads, gingers I know.
Yeah, we're like snappy.
Yeah,
what is that? What do you think that is?
I don't know.
I think we had to push so hard to come out of the womb. So when we did, we're like, we're really here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like, did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college.
What did you study?
I studied, well, first I went to art school in Savannah, Georgia. SCAD. Do you guys know it?
I know of it.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to go there. My mom, like, forced me to go there.
Why?
Because she was like, you don't know how to read. I mean, I knew how to read. The thing was, like, I was, like, very dyslexic. Like, I went to, like, a special school for people with learning disabilities. And so college was this, like, huge thing. My parents were, like, really concerned. They're like, how's she going to go to college? Because it's not, like, a special college. So my mom was like, you have to go to art school. They don't make you read. You just have to do shapes. And I was like, but I'm not good
Your
at
mother
art.
is very smart.
Yeah, but I wasn't good at art. Do you know what it's like to go to an art school, like, not being good at art? Like, I
That
didn't.
sounds stressful as
That's
hell.
got to be frustrating.
I'd rather read.
It's like, draw this trapezoid. You can't even draw like a proper stick figure. Like.
Exactly. I was so bad. So then I transferred to Emerson in Boston for film. And that's what I did. Yeah.
And were you doing like comedy or stand up like during that time, or did you not really take it seriously?
No, I always knew I wanted to do it, but I always like in SCAD there was like this one like improv theater, I guess, and I auditioned and I didn't get it. And I was like really upset. And then the thing is I would get very nervous during auditions. So I never like made it through it to any of these things. And that's why I eventually did stand up, because I was like, oh, you can just do this on your own. But like all these troupe things I wouldn't do well because I would get like really nervous. So I did that. And then when I went to Emerson, I was not doing stand up, but I was doing these like outside of Boston or outside of the school in Boston, there was like storytelling people would do, but it was like folk storytelling. It wasn't like funny. And then I would tell these like funny stories of my mom, and I'd be like, so my Jewish mom takes like sleeping pills at night.
Okay.
Like I just like always was like a little not in like the right group, but I'd always wanted to like make people laugh. Does that make sense?
Did you feel comfortable doing that though, like being on stage in front of people?
Yeah, I felt comfortable.
Was that like starting from the early moments of being in front of a camera, or did you always have that confidence?
No, I think I also think sometimes when you like start something, you have more confidence because you have like nothing to lose. Like you don't know what it's like. And then like the more you do, sometimes like the more you get like in your head about things because you just have like more experience and you have more like expectations of yourself.
You're very wise for your young age.
I'm not
Very
that young.
wise.
I'm 28.
I'm 10 years older. Get out of here. Please.
Thank you.
As my father would say, you're a drop in the bucket.
Wow,
Oh my
thank
God, I
you.
gotta use that.
Drop in the bucket.
Drop in the bucket.
But you can read now, obviously. Like you're
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I'm not like the best at reading. Actually, it's funny. So I go on these like commercial auditions, and a lot of the times it's like they're either for like apps or like pharmaceutical names, but okay, so these pharmaceutical names are like really long, and I never know.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll get to the audition, and always the people are like your competition, right? So they don't really want to help you. So I'll say, hey, how do you say this? Like the other day it was like for an app, like a cashback app called like Raku. See, I still don't even know, but I asked.
Rakuten.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Ebates, formerly known as Ebates.
Yeah, so
Sounds like a scam.
I asked the girl next to me. I was
No,
like,
it's good.
it is?
It's very
Well, I didn't
good.
get the audition, so I didn't do too. I mean, I didn't get it. So I asked the girl next to me, I'm like, how do you say it? First time, they're like, oh, this is how you say it. By the 5th time, they like look at me. They're like, shut the fuck up. Like, you should know how to say it. And then I'll go to like the front desk girl, and I'll be like, wait, how do you say it? I just like want to make sure. So I could read now. I just like, it takes me... I just have to like prepare myself for things.
I sent a long ass pitch email to you, so I wonder how long it took you to actually get to the end. Like,
No, I definitely read it. I can read, like, if you gave me something, I could read it. I mean,
Gotcha.
depending, not something that difficult. But, yeah, I can read now.
okay,
That's good.
That's
Proud of
just
you.
my story, you
No,
know? Like, I
good.
need to
Yeah,
ham it up a
it's
little.
something
quite the
Deep
journey. Like,
Yeah.
Indeed.
did you actually graduate, or did you like?
I graduated, but I cheated. I don't know if I should say that.
You should not say that.
We all
Anyway.
cheated.
You
Fuck
did not
it.
cheat. It's
I
not
didn't cheat.
cheating.
Oh.
I didn't really cheat. The thing is, I cheated and I still really didn't even do that well.
That's fucked up.
That's like the fucked up thing.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I cheated, but I didn't really do that
So
well.
then it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
You
So
can't
you
But I
just-
graduated.
You barely made by. And what was your degree in? Like,
Film.
and how come you didn't want to go pursue like a film career? Or did you? Or
Well, I did. I mean, I was like an assistant for a producer for a little bit, but and then I was like a PA like on sets, but I was just like not very good at it. It was a lot of like lifting, and also I feel like all the things to like become a PA, then like the next steps would be jobs that I didn't really want to pursue.
You know what's funny? Like, I could see you being a PA though, because you
Really?
have that like, all right, everybody, let's go. Get away from the craft table. That's union only.
Like,
Directing people.
certain people actually goes to the top.
Yeah,
I feel like redheads are naturally kind of like that. At least my experiences with them, like they're naturally bubbly and like.
yeah. I guess I've never really met like a boring redhead.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
something's wrong. Then that's might be the
Right?
case.
It sounds wrong.
That secret spice.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Secret spice.
Yeah.
Okay, is that title of your new project?
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
Here we go.
Get it? Because they're ginger.
You got it.
Yeah, like, that's why I said like gingers are spicy. Like they're spicy.
Yeah, we're always like a little bitchy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I have any other. I have one other friend who's a redhead. That's it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They're like sparse. That's why you're so goddamn spicy. It's just like, yeah, I think I got this shit right because it's just like one few very
They
few out
know
in
it.
between.
Yeah.
I think
Don't
those are
fuck
like
with me.
those are fun people, spicy people.
Like
yeah.
the rude, like not rude, but like I guess
I don't
aggressive
like
personalities.
rude. See, I like somebody who has
Spicy.
manners but can still be witty,
Yeah, it's
sarcastic.
like
Right,
and
yeah.
insulting.
Spicy, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say I'm like rude, but
Yeah, but you know how to be witty, sarcastic.
You can have banter back and forth. very
Yeah.
playful, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like when
Hopefully, as a
You go-
comedian, yes.
Yeah, you go argue
Yeah.
with like an 8-year-old, but it's like witty in your end. It's just like I'm being funny. I'm not really being serious.
Yeah,
You
it's
probably
easy.
sitting there like,
But
yeah.
That's dope.
that's like what is annoying though to date because guys would be like, I feel so comfortable with you, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm doing all the fucking work. Like, I just feel so comfortable. Like I had this thing happen recently. Actually, maybe I can get your guys' advice. I have 4 people. Maybe we can get. This is a great.
You
Is
have a
it-
roster like of dudes?
What do you know? I just have a.
Oh.
Well, kind of. No, but I have a
Together right
situation.
now.
I have a situation that maybe I can ask your opinion about because I have 4 people here. Okay, so this is what happened. So I'm on a date with this guy. Speaking of someone who was like, I just feel so comfortable. You just make me feel so comfortable. I'm like,
Hopefully
shut
he's
up.
not listening.
Right?
I don't think he's listening. Although he did listen to my podcast, but this is fine if he really don't care. So we're on a date. It's like going really well. I said to him like, "What are you doing this weekend?" And he's like, "Well, I was supposed to have another date tomorrow, but she might. I don't know if I'm gonna do it because she canceled the first time and I canceled the second time." And I just thought that was like very weird for a guy on a first date to tell me he has another date tomorrow. Isn't that freaking
That
weird?
is-
That's
that is-
extremely weird.
That's too forward.
So then I said to him, I said, sorry, that was so, I just feel like really weird. You just told me that. And he was like, why? Like, it's, like, we're not exclusive. Like, we're just on a date. And I was like, yeah, but you're not supposed to, like, tell someone you're on a
Just some
date.
type of
Yeah,
etiquette.
we haven't even gotten that far.
It
yet
was
to
so
even,
weird.
establish anything.
Because then part of me was like, well, I don't want to seem crazy, but also like I want to speak up for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, and then he started to realize, he was like, no, you're right. That was really rude. And then he was like, I just feel so comfortable with you. And then,
Now I see why you hate that.
Devil's advocate. What if he assumed that because you are attractive and so make him feel so comfortable, maybe you're doing the same thing for other people. So he felt like, yeah, like this is, I don't know how far this could go. So let me just be as honest as possible. And maybe she'll
But
respect
comfortable in what way? Like comfortable, like a romantic way? Obviously not. It's more comfortable, like in a friend way. If you can
Yeah.
just tell her something like that. That's what she's
like, I
getting
feel like
from it.
but also, shouldn't a guy be like nervous what he's going to say? Not like, I don't know. I thought that was just so weird. Don't you guys think that's weird?
That's a weird thing to say.
I
I
think
think
that
it's,
is
it's,
weird.
it's weird.
I would feel uncomfortable to just say that, especially if this is our first date. Like, whenever I'm with a female that I'm interested in, rather if reality there are other females or not, it's only you right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna, I'm not even
No,
gonna
that's why I
But
said
then-
nothing's
oh-
been
Yeah.
established for
Yeah.
us, you to even suggest like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, of course we can, see other people, but I'd like to still get to know you first
Right.
before we,
And I wasn't gonna be honest, being like, oh yeah, I'm on a date with you, but I'm texting like another guy right now.
Exactly. I think
Like, it was
taking
just a
another
weird-
context, yeah,
That is
it would have
weird.
been, he would have been like, what the fuck?
That
Like,
is
yeah.
Well, how was the date going prior to that?
Right.
It
That's
was
a good
going
question.
great. So that's why it was like, when it happened, it was like, what the fuck? Like,
Mm.
I didn't like know the right wording, but I felt physically, I was like, this is really like weird. This is like odd. So now, I mean, this just happened like a week ago.
Is there going to be a second date?
I don't know, because what happened was then we started arguing, and I was like, all right, this is
that's
weird.
it.
No,
Move
we're not
along.
Yeah.
arguing after a
That's
first
it,
date.
Tori.
I don't got
Well,
time.
we
Move
weren't
along.
arguing, but he first like didn't understand why I thought it was uncomfortable, and then he was like, "I do agree," and then I was like, "Yeah, you understand." And then because the thing is, we were like doing really well, like our banter. It was like we were in a rhythm, and then all of a sudden it like flatlined. It was like, well, this is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So maybe he said that thinking it would be funny, low key, truthful,
Ooh.
and add to the banter chemistry that was going on, but it went left.
And you were supposed to be. Because
Yeah.
I just would have.
Do you think he was trying to make me? Because I've had another guy
Yeah,
do
maybe he
that.
was trying to
He
make
could've
you
been
laugh. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he tried. Maybe he thought it was gonna be.
He could have been
funny.
lying too. Like that's
That's
like
what
the
I'm
part of the
saying.
joke. Yeah.
Oh, and then he was like, "Well, if it's any consolation, like you're a lot prettier." I was like,
Oh, you're canceled, bro. What are you talking about?
He was trying to be
That's
funny,
fuck
but it's
outta
not
here.
My
working.
answer.
What are you saying?
That's like you can't say shit like that until later. Like joke
it was
around
just
like that.
so
later.
weird.
Where'd you meet him?
Hinge,
What is
Get off
that?
Hinge.
like a dating app. Should I get off of it? Are you guys on it?
I mean, I'm not on it,
Yeah.
but I've used dating apps, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard
What,
good
does
things
the
about
word
Hinge.
hinge mean something?
Match is really good. Were you ever on Match?
Match?
Is
I
really
feel like
good.
the word
No.
hinge. I
Try
heard that
Match.
somewhere.
You got a phone?
Oh, take the door off the hinges, right?
Martha Stewart said to try Match, and I tried it. It
Really?
was pretty good. I mean, this was years ago, but it was pretty good. Try
Really?
it.
What like attracts you to someone on those type of sites first? Is it the bio or is it the photos?
Well, you know I can't read the bio, so
The
I'm
photo first is the.
So you literally just saw the photos. Like,
I'm like a guy. I'm like hot, not. I'm like, what are those words? What are those words?
who reached out first? Who swiped
He-
right or whatever they do?
He liked me first,
Mm.
so I don't know.
Do you have your Hinge bio like available right now? Can we read your bio?
Yeah, we can get for it. Let me get my phone.
I'm always curious about these type of like things because I've never indulged. I don't trust them. I feel like everyone on there is like a serial killer.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious to see what her bio's like because I want to see if like I would like that. Like
I feel like with those, like in my experience, because I've tried all different types of apps.
really,
When I was
chocolate
single.
ride,
Yeah, when I was single.
chocolate ride.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Well, there's like
But-
a few different on Hinge. You can have like different things. They give you like prompt questions to say something that could be funny.
I feel like you have a bias against dating apps. Like you said, you don't trust it. Oh, that's why you don't trust it because you
Oh.
feel like you'll meet a serial killer.
No, I just
No,
like
makes sense.
I just don't understand them. I mean,
I feel like it's nowadays, especially now because everybody's online and whatnot. I feel like it's especially certain apps where it's like you have to pay whatever it is, and not that they really go in depth as far as backgrounds and shit. But there are people that you wind up meeting nice people. Like not everybody's nice.
Yeah.
Everybody's
My-
crazy. You
my-
can assume, but
My only thing about it was, I would say 80% of the time the people didn't look as good as their profile picture. When I
well,
met
of course,
them.
That's
because
the
people
fear, too.
perpetrate.
That's the
Yeah.
shit
But
that
once
I
you get
hate.
on them and you start looking at those photos, because
You can tell.
especially with guys, though, let me tell you, because guys they always tend to have
the
it's
best
only like
photos.
4 or 5 categories of a picture. They always
Mhm.
either stand in front of a boat, stand in front of the car, sunglasses on in all 3 types of poses, or laying down. or laying down without a shirt on.
Oh, God.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, there's one more where they were with their former partner, but the picture's cut out.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I just went through that part, but that just stood out to me as far
Yeah.
as apps. But once I was getting to the point of once you start looking at the pictures, you can kind of gauge which ones are like, all right, this one's front, and based on like their age, what they're saying, like things kind of don't piece together or whatever. And maybe you don't have time for that. Maybe you're just trying to meet somebody real quick. So they have apps for that too. But I just think in this day and age, you can meet people out in the street or not on the street. Hopefully, don't be meeting people in the street, but like at bars or whatever it is. And I think it's almost the same thing like an app. Like it's just a different way of going about it.
Is that like gonna be like the new normal of meeting people? You think?
It already is.
Yeah.
Like,
It already is.
So I can't even go up to a girl on the street anymore and like just be like, oh. Like,
You can. Not
rah, rah, rah.
everybody's
No,
on
yeah.
an app, but it's more popular than it ever was, and especially now. So I mean,
I do say
Can't hurt.
I do better not online.
yeah.
Same.
Every
Yeah.
every
Same.
like thing I've had that's been like, even if it's like a fling or like a relationship, it's always been not
In
from like
person.
an app.
Yeah.
All right. So and then that's
think that's
to each
just-
person. So
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about trying it, just be careful and be going with your eyes open and like screen people. It's a good way to screen people. I feel like you don't have to answer anybody. You could just look.
I'm still tripping off that guy and what he said. Like, what was he thinking?
That was weird, right?
Like,
Super weird.
Did he
was
did he
weird.
think you were gonna be like, oh, that's cool? Like,
No, I think he just said that he felt very comfortable.
He felt a little too comfortable for the first
yeah,
date.
too
right?
comfortable. But also maybe that shows a little about him.
Or
Yeah.
was it coming from an egotistical?
Well, I had
feel
another
like
guy
it.
say that to me
Yeah.
about how we had another date that weekend, but he might cancel. But this guy I knew was an assoul. Like I knew I was getting myself into.
yeah.
But this guy seemed very nice, so this was like more like shocking.
I think it was more like matter of fact. Oh, I have it. Just you
Well, he said
okay,
to me, he said, I didn't want to lie. And I
You
said,
asked,
Aw.
what was you doing this weekend, right? I
yeah.
was having such a great time. You said, what you doing this weekend? And he said, oh, I may have another date tomorrow, but I don't know. I may cancel. I think that was him and him being very comfortable, very honest with you, letting you know what's what. I don't think it was anything of
Can
the
I say?
sort.
Can I say
Yeah.
observation? So he said that he might cancel, right? Did he say
Yeah.
that?
Well, he was like, he basically was like, oh, I have another date tomorrow, but I don't know if it's going to happen because it's one of those where like I canceled the first time and she canceled the second time.
Oh, you might have missed the layup. That might have been for you to be like, oh, well, if he cancels, maybe you and I could.
That's
link
what I was
up
gonna
again.
say. Was he saying that to like set it up to show you that this is going so well? I don't know if I want to see that.
Oh.
I
You
took
missed
it
the
as
layup.
what if he's saying it like to not get her hopes up? Like I may be
It could be
busy,
that
Yeah,
but
I
I'd
may
still
be
like to
busy.
keep
Yeah,
you
I
in
said
a
to keep
position
you-
where
No,
I
he-
can still hit
he
you up if that
basically-
cancels.
He kind of said that like, well, aren't we all kind of dating other people from? He was very new to the app, so he was like, aren't we all kind of dating other
Yeah.
people right now? I was like, yes, but I think it was just like a weird thing to tell me.
Did
You
you
know what I
guys
mean?
talk like a lot before going on the date, or was it kind of like a week of talking and then going out?
Yeah, I think it was like that. It
Okay.
didn't
Was
seem
it
like
like surface talking, or was it like deep, intimate conversation?
the texting or like the
Well, the texting before you meet up.
The texting was just very like
Very surface.
playful. Yeah, not sexual, but like funny, like witty.
Yeah, so he wasn't thinking nothing of it, honestly.
Yeah, but it was
was
just so.
It was a nigga thing. It was like you got men, you got the man, you got real men, and then you got niggas.
But I would never feel.
I don't know if I should say that in front of her. It's
What?
Just like, but
Speak your mind, queen.
I
Yeah,
say
tell
it,
me.
Like the way I describe it in my head, because I'm different from everybody, so don't use my mind as the go-to black woman's mind, because that's not it. This is me. I am my own woman. I'm a little crazy, but this is how I categorize people. Like this goes for my women too. I fuck with like my women. They go to the same category. Like there's real women, real bitches, and real little hoes. Like I love me a real hoe. Anyway, so it sounds like he's just like a real nigga in a sense. Like yeah,
Like
I
a fuck
you.
boy.
Yeah, there we go, a fuck boy.
Mm.
Like which
Sorry.
I call, because I'm older, so which I call fuck boy, I call a real nigga. Like maybe he drive a nice car, maybe he look nice all the time, he fly in a sense, he talk that good shit to you, y'all feel comfortable, y'all cool with whatever. But in his head is just like, yeah, I'm telling you what I may have to do because I want to know. Because at the end of the day, it also sounds like he's trying to set it up so you're comfortable, y'all both comfortable, and if he wants to rely on you as that my go-to side bitch or
Yeah.
my go-to,
Well, he just got out of something, like a
white
serious
people say hookup,
relationship.
so like my
Mhm.
go-to hookup rebound, that's who you are.
But I feel like
Got
women
it.
shouldn't even be that for guys like that who don't have it figured out. Like you don't need to be that support system, especially early on for like a first date. Like
But I would never feel comfortable.
This nigga be talking like fuck.
what? I'm talking like what?
Oh, like you some profound. How do you say like go to straight out the book. Bring me to your mom. I'm gonna make everybody cry. Like,
But that's a fact though. Like you don't agree that like you.
Like,
Vice versa,
nice.
like we shouldn't
nice
be that.
At
For
the
like,
end of the day, it sounds nice in theory. Like you would think everybody is that nice and everybody has common ground and common sense and just compassion towards the other people. But sometimes, and the way I see with the way today's dating world is, the best thing you can do at this point is be honest.
Right.
So if you have a date the next day, then if you feel like that person may need to know that just in case you may feel like they about to get clingy. Section 5 right away after first date, like you may want to just like set them back a little bit, like, hey, I have a date tomorrow. Like maybe that was his way of trying to tell you, like, I'm still dating. So yes, I'm having a great time right now, but I don't want anything too serious. Like I still want my options open,
right?
Without you having like, well, you know, like
it was very odd.
I get it.
Something you're not used to.
No, but I had another guy tell me that, but like I said, I knew he was an asshole, so I wasn't like that surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other guy was like, I did it because I thought it would make you jealous, and I was like, well, it's just weird.
Yeah.
You probably get a lot of likes on there anyway, so you weren't sweating it, like you weren't like bummed out about it, were you?
No, I wasn't. I like enjoyed him, but I wasn't like, oh my god, this is the one. But I was like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah.
It was just so weird. And then what happened was, we were like, okay, let's go another bar to like, because we were like fighting. And then that was weird that we were fighting on a first date. And then we were like going to the bar.
I like niggas fake like each other. They're trying to hide it. And it's just like, I still want to date, but I like you. Let's go to a bar and mad.
No,
like,
but then what I did was I was really proud of myself. I was like, actually, you know what? Like, I feel like I just can't like shake off what you said. And I feel like I would just like still be thinking about what you said. So I'm just going to leave.
Oh, wow.
And then he was like, Then I was like, well, should I? No, that was like very indecisive though. Like I'm making it sound like a lot better than I actually was. I was like, should I? I don't know. But then I made the decision to leave. And then he's like, can I walk you to the subway? I was like, I've lived in the city my whole life. Like I know how to.
So sweet.
I know he was sweet
So
though.
that's
He's
what I'm
trying
trying
to
to
get that
say.
goodbye
Like
kiss.
it wasn't
I know
like
that
I don't
move.
think it was.
We did
him.
kiss.
Yeah.
I think
So
you should
that-
give him another
Bye.
shot.
Like this, the point of the story was what again?
I think you should give
Um,
him another shot. Yes,
No,
that
I
was
did,
weird.
but
Okay.
I think so what happened was I said to him, I was like, I want to leave. Like I can't, whatever. Like I'll still be thinking about it, but I really do want to see you again. And
I think it's just he needs to learn boundaries because you guys are just.
But he
learning
also
each
just
other.
got out of something like of a 4-year relationship, so maybe he doesn't know like what dating is. But also like I don't really want to like be the one like after that.
Right.
Are you looking for a relationship?
Yeah.
What did you need advice on though? Because like I still kiss at the end. You saw him again.
No, I didn't see him again.
Oh, you didn't see him again?
No, I just wanted your opinion, like
Was it
what
weird
you
or
guys
not?
thought, why this person would say that. But you're saying fuck boy.
Not now that I don't like not fuckboy, like in the sense of fuckboy, but I really do think he was comfortable. It was just like I like you, but I don't wanna.
Yeah.
It's like he does, because even for y'all to argue on the first date and then y'all still want to.
Yeah, that was
acting like y'all was like 7 dates in, 8 dates in, like and had a few drinks and y'all about to have fun, go home and have some real fucking hot drunk makeup sex. Like yeah, but
Right.
this is the first date and this is how y'all acting mentally. So it's just okay. It seems like y'all both have some feelings, but y'all want to deny it and act like little kids in a sense. Or at least him, because he still wants to be free.
Right.
And it's just like, you know how you right time, wrong time, but right person.
Yeah, I
So
think
maybe
so.
That's what y'all felt like. I feel like y'all both felt like that on the first date.
But also, like, I wonder if you guys are on that date and he said that, would you have ignored it?
I wouldn't have cared.
You would have not cared.
Elena-
To me, it would have
but
just
I'm
been
sure
like, okay,
after my
he's
date,
not trying
I
to
was
make
going
weekend
somewhere
plans,
else,
basically.
yeah.
So moving on.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on.
Oh,
That's
so you
what I
would have
think.
not even said anything. Do you think
I
I
would-
over? Do you think I
probably would've.
over?
I did
I think you
the
overthought
friendly banter, like the first
I would be like,
joke.
uh-huh.
He said, well, I'm going somewhere right after this, so we can hurry this up if you want to.
I kind of
Right,
think you.
we'll
I kind
do
of
it
think
back
you.
in his face.
I kind of think you
Yeah.
overthought it because I feel like I would say that, like, especially if we had like this playful banter and like sarcastic, like
Yeah.
joking. Like, I would have said that to like kind of like get you to get the alley oop to be like, you know. Sometimes I feel like we say things to like actually
See if
get
people
some
will catch
To
it.
get a
Yeah.
reaction.
So maybe you either took it the wrong way or maybe he actually meant that and
Or
said
maybe
it. His
he was
tone
just
was
being
different.
honest, letting you know.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not available Friday, but maybe I'll be available Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And
Right.
instead of him just saying that, I just came out, oh yeah, because he could have got fucking nervous and stumbled up in his words. It's like, oh shit, I got this date by like her. Like, who knows? Like niggas, people are weird.
Yeah.
Can we talk about
Would-
comfort though? Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, would you have felt equally offended if he lied and you could tell he was lying?
Lied about what?
Lied about his plans. Like if he was just
I
like,
I gotta go see my sick mom. You know, she's so sick and everything's going bad and the roof collapsed on her head.
Yeah,
and
I
she's
think
screwed
I'd
up the
rather
basement.
someone not lie, but not go. Like I think he could have just been like, "Oh, I have a friend. Like I'm seeing
I'm
a
seeing
friend."
a friend.
I've
Okay.
done that. I've never been on a date with a guy being like, "Oh, I have another date tomorrow." Oh, I don't want to
It
fuck
is
you, but I
so-
want to fuck the guy later. So let's hurry this up. Like I've never done that.
It's different now. I feel like people are being more honest, and I feel like sometimes, like you said, it's discretion. Discretion is a must. Like sweeten your shit up a little bit. Like you don't have to be detail for detail, but I think some people really just don't know any better.
Is there like a timer for comfort, like when we should start to feel comfortable with like whoever we're trying to get to know? Because like you guys have been talking for like a week, and then he felt like that comfort. Like, what was wrong with him being, I guess, feeling comfortable with you? Like,
I think doesn't it happen differently with everyone?
Yes.
Like sometimes people, I think. I mean, I've only been in like 2 serious relationships, but I think doesn't it happen differently?
it does. I just like
What is comfortable? Like the comfortable of level of just speaking like
you feel like this. Like we feel like we could say anything to each other
Being
without
unfiltered.
no fear. Like unfiltered. Like, is there like a timer for that, or is it just a feeling? 'Cause I feel like he felt that.
I personally, well, I can't speak for your situation, but I
feel
know
like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
different.
generally speaking, I do think it is different for the people involved. And personally, it's like I gotta test your boundaries. Like when I'm dating somebody, like I'm gonna piss you off. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say shit that's gonna offend you to see how mad you get. Like I want to know what my boundaries are because I am that person. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna say inappropriate shit. So I need to know like what is your limit? Like okay, like and that does take a little time.
I feel like I do like the 5-date thing. So like I'll reveal more about my personality like as the dates progress.
What's
I
the
feel like,
5-date thing?
Like I'll go. I like to go on 5 dates. I feel like 5 days for me is like when I can really understand or acknowledge if I want to go further with this person. Because I feel like,
Oh. You give them a long time.
yeah,
You know niggas is different.
nah, for real. Like because like I don't know. Like I do trust easily at times, but my comfort because I feel like I just feel so different, and I feel my interests
This sounds
aren't
so
easily
tempting to hate
accepted.
about you.
Elena, you think I'm like I don't know what you think about me anymore.
No, it's cute. It's just like I give myself 5 dates.
Yeah,
But that's so long. By the 5th date, I either am like really into them, or I'm like,
Can't stand
this
them.
person is
Already
fucking
no,
done.
because
pissing
like
me off.
I mean, like if 5 dates really specifically pertains to people, like I want to potentially, I feel I could potentially build a relationship with. So
right.
I feel like you're getting to know more and more about them, and you're spending time with them. You're getting more comfortable each. So like I feel like by 5 dates, you have a pretty clear idea of what you want to do with this person. Whether
Yeah.
You just want to fuck. You don't want nothing to do with them at all. You want a relationship. So I don't know.
You said days or dates?
Dates.
Dates? Oh, okay.
That's
Damn.
a long
That
time.
is a lot.
But like no, but there's
That is
timing
a lot.
between the dates.
I
like
don't
there's
have that much
That's what
time.
makes it so long because
But
you
you
can be
know- oh,
2 weeks
okay.
in between
That's right.
dates. It
That's
could be
it.
a week in between dates.
Bruh, like if you take it serious, if you don't even, especially if you don't even know what you want, I feel like that's like the time to figure it out.
I get it.
Let me
I
just
get it.
clarify my whole thing with 5 days. I'm not saying like, oh, my 5 days, that's so long or that's so short. It's just
Yeah.
like, I don't think you ever stop dating anybody, period. Even when you're in a
that's
relationship.
good.
So it's just like,
Good point.
Yeah.
I view dating so differently. Like, dating is a very long job. Like,
Yeah.
maybe all I want to do the rest of my life is just date. I'm sorry.
Is that what you're doing now?
I'm not doing anything. I'm chilling out here.
What does that mean? What does chilling mean exactly?
Chilling like a villain.
No, but what does that mean, like
Chilling.
specifically? Oh, okay.
I
You're not.
chill.
Are you
I
like in
chill.
any DMs, any dates?
No, I
Are
don't
you
got
going
any
out?
DMs. Like, what's like my dates and your dates is 3 different dates. Like, I date
know.
differently.
Yeah.
He wants all the business out there.
All
Yeah.
the sauce.
Like the dates, like, yeah, I date differently. Like I be having to go out to a bar, then the next thing on my bill is paid. Like that's a date
Oh.
from across the bar. It's all things. See you
I think
later.
you'll be good though. Like, I mean, if you decide to go with this guy,
I don't think
further-
it's. I think it's over.
Oh shit!
Dang.
Shout out to him.
Do you want it to be over?
No, I like winning. I don't even know if I'm fully. I
You're
just.
not fully invested.
I mean, I think I would like another date, and if it doesn't happen, like I'm not gonna be like devastated.
Did you have expectations of how that day would end? Like, did you have like an idea of mind how you wanted to end?
No. We ended with French fries. I like ending with French
Was
fries.
it salty?
Yeah, they were really
Ketchup
salty.
on the side or on top?
On the side, it was like too much ketchup. You
Oh.
ever see so much ketchup it makes you nauseous?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a pile of it.
No, that's never happened. More ketchup, please.
Too
Like,
much.
So going back
Wait,
to
hold on. Who put the ketchup on the? Y'all shared it.
Yeah, we shared it.
So who did the ketchup?
Getting
thing?
sexual.
Yeah, who did the ketchup thing
shit.
though?
Squirted it.
Who squirted it?
I think I did.
Damn it.
Did he at least pay the bill?
Yeah, he
Okay.
paid the bill.
Well,
Because if
that's
he would
fucked
have
up.
did it, it would be like, okay, ooh, at least he has enough common sense to know you don't spray it all over like a crazy
Oh,
person.
yeah.
Like people dip when you're sharing.
Do you think you could tell if a guy's gonna be bad at sex depending on how he puts the ketchup on fries?
Question.
That's a good question.
If he's like, "Mwah," you're like, oh, he's gonna be like really bad
Yeah,
and like uncoordinated and
Right,
like,
or is he meticulous and specific?
or is it like hot? It's like ooh, or is it like?
not for nothing. When I use ketchup, it's just like you always, even on the hot dogs, like you want to do the squiggly
It's
line.
more like, do you have rhythm or not?
Yeah.
Like if he puts rhythm on like the
That-
fries.
no, that
Yeah,
makes
because how you
sense.
squirt it, how you squirt
Yeah.
it on there makes a difference for the
Yeah, I never
taste.
really
But
thought
that's
about
really
that.
does.
Taking the time to, but
It
you
really
know what?
does.
Now I'm looking at ketchup completely different. Now I gotta
I mean, I
like,
dip.
Yeah.
Right, now
I like
you
to
gotta
dip,
fast.
but when you
But
squeeze
right.
it
The French
on,
fries?
yeah,
But
when
if
you
you
squirt,
have
I
a
like to dip my
guy-
fries.
they're unrelated.
Yeah,
Dip my
The two
fries.
things are unrelated.
But if
But
you
when
have
you squirt
someone
it
who's
on-
like, "Rah," and then he's got ketchup on his hand, he's like, I don't know how I got there. I'm like, oh my god. He's like,
Unrelated.
and he's like using seltzer. Yeah. He's like using seltzer to try to like wipe it out. He's like licking. He's like, my mom told me it would be good doing this. I'm like,
my
oh
God.
god.
Making a
Crazy. I
mess.
used to use I would take girls to dates. It would be like I would take them to Verlaine, so they have these best lychee martinis. And if she had a thing, if she did not want to eat the lychee, she was like, "Bitch, you don't eat pussy. Like get out my face."
Oh.
Because lychees have the feel of like pussy in your mouth in a sense.
Right.
Ooh,
Yo,
what,
I-
is this? What is this?
Now they're both gonna go
Lychees.
out and have a lychee martini.
I have a
It's
bad
just
habit
fun.
on first dates of like always spilling something on myself, like whether it be water or just like anything. I'm so clumsy.
I'm
Yeah.
Makes
clumsy.
you nervous.
Yeah, cause
I lie on my dates or on my first dates.
What do you lie about?
she's so like-
Everything.
Jesus.
said
Yo,
everything.
That's funny as hell.
Why do you
Disclaimer.
lie? To
Like, what do you like? Lie about your identity?
I used to be like, it'd be
Like your
the dumbest-
interest?
She'd be like, yeah, I
it'd
work
be
for the
the
CIA.
dumbest
You just make
No,
shit up.
not like that. Like,
You just make shit up.
no,
Yo.
I just
No.
be lying. Like, it'd be
What
like,
do you
it'd be like,
lie
it would be the
about?
dumbest lie. Like,
You're toxic, yo. For
Yo.
real. You're toxic. Why you
if
lying
you
to these
can't
girls?
figure out I lied, then you can't fuck with me.
Fam,
So you'll
it's a
lie-
first date. We're just
a
meeting.
test.
You'll lie
It's a
to see
test.
if they know you're lying, not to really fool
And then
them.
if you want to call me out on it, like,
Then you'll tell the truth and be like, yeah, I was just fucking with you.
Wow.
Very convincing lies are hard to pierce through at times. If you say things
and
with a
then
straight
you're not
face,
the-
You're not
person
being
for me.
observant.
Yo, my ex-wife, she did not play with my ass.
she beat your ass at times.
No, we.
Oh my
like,
God,
no.
Jeff.
Oh,
Please.
no. I'm just saying. If she caught you lying, if she caught you lying, like, why the fuck you lied to me?
No, it was that one time she did catch me lying. She did smack me on my sleep, but we was already headed towards divorce, so it was different. It was
Oh.
just like I was angry. It was oh, but you mad, like. But I was still lying even after I got caught. It was just like, but I'm not admitting
Yeah.
to nothing. I'm still not missing nothing because nothing happened, girl.
Because you're a comedian professionally and you're funny, do you have to date someone as funny as you, or maybe at least can make you laugh?
Yeah, I definitely think that's like really important. That they can like, not that they have to be like so outgoing, because I can be the outgoing. I don't need someone who's like, I'm funny. Like that's why I don't want to date
Somebody
another
that's just
comedian.
like you, yeah.
Then it's like kind of annoying. But I
Yes.
want to date someone who's like, he doesn't know he's funny. I'll be like, oh, you're.
Right.
I was like, oh, yeah, that was so funny.
Right.
He was like, and he like scratches his head. He's like, really? No one's ever told me I'm funny. And I'm like,
Right.
ooh, I found one. Like, you know what I mean?
Aw.
Right, shit.
Right.
Like a like shy, not shy, but like fun. Yeah.
Reserved.
Deserved it.
Yeah, but I definitely think you need like good banter.
Banter. I feel like banter is everything. I like.
Yeah.
it.
Laughter is like the best like component to a relationship, because I feel like if you can't laugh with each other, then you're just staring at each other blankly,
Right.
having serious conversations all the time.
But I
And
like
then-
that
Sounds
too,
boring.
though.
Right.
And
And
I
I,
love
Yeah, no, but not
talking
all the
shit.
time.
Is banter? Banter is another way of saying talking shit, right?
yeah.
Because I love talking shit.
Me too. I talk shit.
It's
all
fun.
day.
And I like when
We know.
guys like call me out or like are kind of mean to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're gonna. But also, I feel like that kind of sometimes comes with time. But then sometimes.
Wait, what do
not.
you mean? Mean to you?
Not like throwing me, but like
I hope
I
not.
know. I
I'm
know
trying
what
to
you
think,
mean.
Yeah, I
like
get it.
Because I like mean
That will
girls, so
call
I
you
know
out
what
on
you
your
mean.
shit.
yeah, like
like-
call you out. Like I'm like, I
That's
want
me.
fries, and he's like, oh, like so, oh, not basic of you. You know what I mean? Like
That's me.
Snarky.
Like literally, snarky.
snarky, yeah.
Sarcastic,
Sarcastic.
asshole-ish.
Yeah.
But that's my problem. Is I like the guys
That's-
who
yeah.
Our asshole.
comes
is.
off.
kind of
Oh, I like the
asshole, but then
guys,
they
yeah.
actually are assholes.
So no timid dudes for Tori. No timid.
Because I think
I
you're
tried.
you're looking for a guy through your funny bone,
Mm.
maybe.
Well, this is another problem.
How funny
Coco's in
are
the
you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna make me laugh because I have a certain sense of humor, and if it doesn't keep up with mine, then you're out of here.
Yeah, and then I have another problem where it's like, wait, now I just had like a brain fart. What were we talking about? Wait, I had 3 sips of wine, and I'm like, how like you're like, oh, if a guy's funny, if he calls you out, something about being an asshole. And I'm literally like, fucking, I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Maybe it'll come to me.
Oh, that was a
sounded so
fire
good.
question.
It was so good, I literally
Yeah.
forgot.
No, but I was
Fuck.
saying, I think you're looking for, like you're
Love
comparing
the-
the. How am I trying to say?
She
Say it,
said
Lane.
that, blah, blah, blah. She said that she thinks you're looking for love through your funny bone.
There you go.
Oh, now I remember what I was gonna say. Now I agree, and my other problem is if someone's on like a date and they're not a comedian and a guy says something, they'd be like, "That's fucking weird." But in my head, I'm like, "Oh, that's funny. That's like funny. He wants to live in a lighthouse." Do you know what I mean? But I think like most people would.
Instead red flag.
Yeah, red flag. I'm like, oh, that's like he's so funny. He wants to live in a
but
lighthouse.
that's what it is. You can't.
I have a
When you go on a
problem.
date, you literally have to
You're
put
on a
your
date with a
funny
whole
bone
serial
away.
killer.
Yeah.
You
I
can
know
be
it.
funny, but the lens can't be
Yeah.
like, if that makes sense. You can't look at him and predict whether or not he's going to tickle your funny bone.
So
Right.
would
You
you
know what I
not
mean?
recommend
So is it
she date someone in her field? Like, is that like a no-no?
Well,
I'm honestly have never dated someone in my.
But she already said she
Yeah.
doesn't want to date another comedian.
Yeah, I don't want to date another.
Yeah.
But why
but
not?
but it alarmed me when she
competition?
said she liked
Yeah.
somebody who was mean to her. Like, and I know I'm saying it more dramatic. I like to be dramatic.
Yeah,
But she likes it when they're. You and I said snarky. CR.
snark. I think that's a better word.
That's a better word.
Yeah.
But so not mean like you described it better. I think I was just. I
like
think I
call
just
someone
thought
who
of it
can like call you out on your shit.
okay, that's better.
But I
Okay.
also-
Someone that's
Yeah.
blunt and straightforward.
Yeah, but that also right. So that's yeah.
But
Sometimes
spicy.
somebody who I'm very blunt and straightforward to all my people I mess with. I don't mean I give a fuck about them.
Oh no.
You do or you don't.
It depends on the person.
I
Right.
feel-
But then you said you liked the asshole type of personality, not
Yeah.
like I mean. I'm saying it very terribly. However, like, sometimes they wind up being assholes, but at the same time, you're almost not drawn to it, but that's what you, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like an intervention.
This is what you actually signed up for. I forgot to tell you that in the email.
It's okay.
So you would, it's like, I guess they're not wanting to date someone in the same field as you. Like, I feel like that can also be like an ego thing. Because I feel
Yeah.
like, comedy is very like, ego driven
Competitive.
and competitive. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
so are you competitive in your, in terms of that?
Definitely very.
And how do you feel being like a woman in this?
In comedy?
Yeah.
A redheaded woman.
And then, yeah.
I think there's like now, luckily, there's like more opportunities to being a woman. But I don't know. I think it's difficult too because people like see you, especially me. But I kind of like it because I feel like I can get away with things because I look very like cute and innocent. So when
They
I
underestimate you.
yeah,
in
they
other words?
underestimate
Okay.
me, so I
They're
kind of
already
like
laughing when
it.
you're on the stage. Like, they're already laughing at you when you're on the stage.
And I think it adds to the outrageousness.
Okay,
that,
so that's
with
what he
certain
said. They're
things.
laughing at you. That's okay. So
No,
as a comedian, can you tell the difference between the laughs when people are laughing with you or laughing at you, or is that even important when you do your job? As long as the laugh is there.
I think I think it doesn't matter. As long as however you take it. Like if they're laughing at you, you did something and then you like call the situation and then you're like, yeah, that was dumb or whatever I did, like I said the wrong word or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you like study other comedians before you actually decided to make it a full-time career, or like did you? Because I feel like comedy really is an art form. It's not just going on stage, speaking, telling your experiences, telling jokes. I feel like there is like a science to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really. I mean, I guess I would watch other comedians, but I mostly just. No, I didn't really want to watch other people because sometimes I feel like in the beginning when you first start, then you like start to do like their act, like unconsciously.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, cause like my perception of comedians, I feel like they're like the darkest individuals in the world, especially the comedians who speak about like real life situations like politics and current events. I feel being able to draw humor from like certain dark topics, I feel that's like a testament to your character truly. Do you what style is your comedy like? Do you draw from like current events or is it mostly personal? Like,
Just personal.
just personal.
Yeah. And like
the good and bad.
no, just the bad.
Oh shit. Okay.
I don't know, but no, I guess like I don't know. Can you make good funny? Like when I think of like good things, I don't know if it's like like I'll never forget with my old boyfriend. I like didn't have any jokes about him because I was like in the beginning I was just like he's so nice, but there was like nothing fun. And I tried making jokes. I was like, what's funny about a guy who like comes over and just gives you flour for no reason?
Aww.
I was like, nothing.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
what's funny about a
funny.
guy who's
Sweet.
just like, hey, I just want to let you know like you're great today. Like I was like, see, there's nothing like funny there.
You could lie. You could be like, I'm not a comedian, but like you could like wish he was more of like an asshole.
No, then he became to be an asshole, so it's fine because now I have like a lot of minutes on him.
Or
But
the
at that time, like he was a very nice person.
the flowers
So
stop coming.
yeah, that was actually only once.
Do you think that's why we like mean people? Because they're typically we find them more funny. Because I like mean people. Like they're funny because it's just like outrageous. Like
I don't like when people are mean to me.
But that's,
We know.
that's
Yeah.
true. But I don't like when they're mean to me. That's so true.
But also, I don't think like all comedians are mean. Like I know some. Actually, I just thought of one comedian, but then I was like, he's kind of mean too. Like he's like unconsciously mean. Like you wouldn't think he's mean. Not unconsciously. Like you don't think he's
It's
mean.
not deliberate. It's
No,
just,
but he is. Like he can be. But yeah,
Be a Virgo.
a Virgo. Are you into signs?
I'm into everything.
Oh, okay.
That was a question I was gonna ask. What is your sign?
Are you? Oh wow.
I feel like you're a fire sign.
I'm a Taurus.
Okay.
Boom.
So
May
she's
20th. Doesn't that mean I'm on the cusp? Right, of a Taurus and a Gemini.
Almost.
Oh.
I mean,
No.
that's not a
Not
bad
far.
cuff. Still Taurus and Gemini. Hopefully, you probably lazy some days, but Gemini make you push forward. You like to lay in bed with your
I
ice
do love my
cream.
bed.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I have like I love my bed.
You
Having
like
to come to
sleep.
bed is dangerous, especially if you're trying to be productive.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That's me. Yeah.
Restorative. Think
Yeah.
restorative.
Yeah.
But I
never-
always do
Recharging.
find though with signs though, like I never was really into it until like recently, but I do find that I get along with guys who are like or like even people I just have in general like connections with, their signs are like all very similar.
Mm.
Like it's really what I always really like Taurus guys too.
But do you have like a type specifically in terms of looks and personality? I mean, personality, asshole. But like,
Yeah, yeah, asshole.
Based off because you Taurus, Gemini, I feel like you like anybody who's gonna feed you.
Feed me or like emotionally feed me.
No, feed you food.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Food feed you, let you sleep, let you be because you mad stubborn.
Yeah.
So
like,
you have to
definitely.
win every argument. When you don't, it's just like
Oh my
you're
god.
gonna drive to point till you can't drive it no more. They're gonna look at you like, all right, fine, like fuck it. There you
Right.
go. Here it is on the platter. You won.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
that
you're a
sound-
whole headache.
does that side like pour into your comedy? Like
The
that's the stubborn side, I guess. Like in terms of maybe not getting a certain opportunity you want or a certain show you want. Like how does that affect your career? Like your stubborn side of you.
I think that affects my career because I'll instead of like doing something, I'll be like, oh, I don't want to do it because like I'm thinking of like what other people are gonna think about me. So I think that lends to like my stubbornness because I'm like concerned what other people are thinking of me.
Do you feel like when you get on stage, you're like I think I mentioned earlier, like when I come in here, I feel like I put my superhero cape on. I feel like I'm not the same person I am on the street as opposed as I am in here. Do you
Yeah.
feel you do the same when you're on stage as opposed to like your normal everyday life?
I would say I'm like pretty similar. Like, I mean, when I'm on, like, even doing a podcast and when I'm on stage, I feel like I'm like the same. Like, I'm on, like, you know what I mean? But then there's also the side of Tori that's like, I'm not, like, I'm on, but I'm Tori, but sometimes I'm just like not as like funny and on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny. I had this guy I went on a date with recently, a month ago, and he told me he's like a lawyer, and he like really didn't understand like art, like I don't know, he just like didn't understand like Instagram or anything. He's like I have to say, your Instagram presence is very different than your actual presence. He was like, you're a lot more goofier on your Instagram. I was like, yeah, it's like I'm not always like on, like you're, and also like, why are you fucking studying my Instagram?
It sounded like he was in his 60s. How old was he?
Oh my! Don't even get me. He was 27, but like
Really?
acted like he was like a 6-year-old man.
Nah, he's disconnected.
He was very much like a lawyer, and he would talk like this, and he'd be like, "Did you know you don't even need a Brita filter? The tap water in New York City is fine."
If I was a girl, I would have kept him on the side just for like my money. Like if I want a free date once in a while, I would keep him
Sugar
on the
daddy.
side. Yeah,
Good
Yeah.
sugar daddy type shit.
Good plan, Jeff.
Yeah, if I was a woman, I would do that.
Yeah,
I would be
yeah.
a gold digger.
I ain't gonna lie. If I was a woman, I'd be a gold digger too.
So
The thing is,
that's
I
what
I'd be
tried.
selling feet
is
pics
that
and all
what
that.
y'all think all women are? Just
No,
No, I'm saying
that
that's
has
what
nothing
would-
to do about
I
my
would
perception
do.
of women. I'm talking about if I was me.
I would sell
if I
feet
was a
pics.
woman.
I would sell booty pics.
I
like-
tried to be a gold
I'd be a
digger,
gold
and I
digger.
just feel so bad. Like I feel
Exactly.
very guilty when like if a guy takes me out to dinner and like I know I don't really want to continue seeing. Like, I feel like awful.
But you know why?
I'm such a good fucking person.
You know why I also say that? Because as I do have been around dudes who are just super simple-minded and just stupid. Like, they just don't get it. So I feel like if I was a woman, I'd be able to take advantage of that. Because if you're just so stupid, you don't get it, then what are you good for?
But she brought a good point. If we were women, then we might feel that
empathy.
Do you guys feel that? Did you ever feel guilty?
Guilty what?
I don't know, like...
Of feeling guilty if a guy pays for dinner?
No, like what they're saying. Have you ever been in a situation where like a guy has paid for a lot of things, and even though you know, like you don't really like him?
I don't think I've ever been in that situation where I didn't really like him.
Two different generations.
yeah.
I'm so glad you asked that question. I need to know
this.
this.
Again,
I couldn't entertain somebody that I didn't
27,
like in that
how y'all
situation,
Right.
just in order to, you know, it's
27,
just me.
28, we're going down. Y'all just different. Y'all feel a
different.
lot. Yeah, y'all different. Like, I don't know. I don't.
In
I
a
feel
bad
like
way, you think?
no. I just feel like certain things just come with. I'm accustomed. Like I don't know how to say it without sounding like a bitch. Whatever the case is.
We want to hear.
Just
but it's
say
just
it.
like
Speak your
we're
mind.
different on this end. It's not about do we feel bad about using anybody. We just know like that's the way the world goes. There's a give and take to everything. So this is just like I said, like 2 Mondays ago, I was sitting outside with my girlfriend. We was in a bar eating food. And, like, we was having a real deep conversation. I, like, shed a tear. And the nigga next to me said, oh, you know, I'm so sad you're crying. Let me pay for your bill. I was just like, okay, stupid.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad. Like, you wanted to pay for the bill. Go right ahead. Thank
Right.
You.
You like want more tears? Want to take me on a jet?
There's better things to feel guilty about.
Should I cry some more? Like, it's so much more stuff I could feel guilty about in this world. Like, you know, the starving kids and everything that's happening in South Africa right now. Like, compared to somebody spending some money on me.
True. Okay.
Like, you want to spend some money, spend some money.
All I'm
Because I
saying,
spend money on people, too, so it's just like, it's a give and take for everything. Like,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is if I was a chick, I'd definitely be riding in something fresh.
Getting these niggas.
I'd have a new Fendi bag.
Freshest panties every week.
Woo, fuck the panties.
All that. Bras, all that.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
You know what
I've
I
been
mean?
in. I
First
have been
of
in.
all, we buy our own fucking underwear and bras and pennies. Like,
I'm
there's
not
a
saying
whole-
y'all
We're not saying you don't.
I think-
We're
We're not
just
saying
saying
you
yeah.
For
don't.
me
Yeah.
personally,
We're not saying
like I
don't.
get the concept of getting money, whatever the case is. I have
But
no
that's
problem
not
with
what
that.
it's about.
But
We're
if
talking
you're
about
talking
us as
about a situation, if you're
individuals.
dinner is one thing, but if you're talking about a situation as far as for me personally, I'm not judging anybody, whatever.
Yeah.
I would feel controlled if we're going off in a tangent and talking about somebody buying you this, buying you that, and
you don't
I
have
wind up.
anything
I
to
was
sh-
in a
yeah.
I was in a relationship, a brief one, but a relationship a while back that wound up turning very bad, and I saw all the signs, and within those signs, I always had the thing where it was like, you're not buying me anything in the respect of dresses, things like that, clothing, shit like
Yeah.
that. Because I knew in my bones that once I let that go, I would feel controlled. Of course, again, I'm going on a tangent, but just humor me. And
didn't
once
think
I
of it like
did,
that.
sure enough, it wound up being a controlling situation and turning bad.
And then he started
But
trying to tell you what to wear.
and I'd never been in that situation like that before, but I've always had the inner thing where it's like, and that learned that from my mom.
Always
Once,
have
and
that
that she never told me, but it's just as an empath here, you understand. There are just some things that you can pick up and you just know instinctively. Once you get into that situation, you're going to have to answer in one way or another, because then that person has control over you, whether you realize it or not.
Yep.
And we're talking about dinner. Eat your
Dinner's
food. Dinner is
nothing,
nothing.
Yeah.
I'm talking
But like
about
when you out here like scamming people for just the checks and the money,
Yeah.
not even that when a man
you will
is,
answer.
when a man is setting up your whole lifestyle where you cannot breathe without him paying your bill or your check, where you're living in his house and everything, like that's a totally different type of thing, and nobody's talking about that because I don't condone that, because that's the level of abuse, mental abuse, and every type of, because that you open the doors to mental abuse, verbal abuse, and then it leads to physical abuse.
Right.
That's
So as people, everybody should have their own in a sense, because same thing as women, like
Yes.
you think we don't beat men ass, but you know, we be out here beating everybody ass sometimes.
So I just feel like it's simple for y'all to say, if I was a woman, I would do
Yeah,
this,
it's like-
that, and
it's
the
so
third.
easy for
There are
y'all to
women
say
out here
that,
that have
but-
to do it,
Yeah,
and there are women out there that know that for their own selves they wouldn't do that because it just means something different when it's real in
like that,
face
and
to
feel
face.
like that's the only way they can ever live and survive.
Right.
And so I'm not trying to make y'all feel bad for
I
thinking,
don't.
but it's just
Yeah.
like, you
I
know,
feel bad.
They are.
They're like,
when
how do
you-
I
when-
become a
yeah,
woman?
When you say things like that, you come off of this thing that's women just to be out here trying to get this and get that and do this and do that and use their body for everything. Like, yeah, there are women like that, but they even the women who do that, they don't want to be in a situation sometimes. And a lot of them only do that to get to the next step.
Yes. I was only speaking for a specific group
For
of men,
yourself.
like the older 70-year-old dudes who need the oatmeal every
I'd
day at
have
3
a sugar
p.m.
daddy. I don't
You know what I
give a
mean?
damn.
Like who need the IV
Oatmeal at 3 p.m.?
Who need the IV at 4 p.m.
I'm going
You know
on
what I mean? Like,
vacation.
I want to be with Horace.
I'm
No.
doing some red
Seven-
bottoms.
70-year-old dude named Horace.
Come back.
Toss
Come
him
back.
that $2,500 every week. You know what I mean?
7-year-old dude named Horace takes 2 Viagra and his dick get hard, so you gotta suck it and fuck it. Can you do that?
Look,
Like
he
it
old
sound-
enough. He
it
don't even know what's
sound
going
nice,
on.
But who
I'll
knows?
get the
I
dog.
can't.
Get the dog to do
Nobody.
it.
Even sometimes if it's like a
And that's
28-year-old.
my thing. Once you start making people once people start paying you for pussy in your company,
Yes.
like you have to do what they say. Like it's like I said, y'all think it sound cute.
Listen,
Like it sound nice.
my mom is listening. I'm joking. Okay, I'm just talking shit. Has one of my systems.
yeah, we
CR
all
may
talk
not be
shit.
joking. I don't know.
It's a hypothetical situation that will never happen.
Never
Of course
happen.
this
I'm
is
not
a
gonna.
serious-
I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow
Of
with a
course it's
vagina
not serious.
and a wig.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I definitely could not do it.
Yeah, nah.
I
and
couldn't
respect
even
that.
do it with,
Sound
like,
It's-
but the
a guy
girls
taking
who
me
do
dinner.
it, like the girls who do it, like shout out to y'all because I am
Yeah.
not out here being
They
with
have no conscience.
nothing.
They don't
Like,
give a fuck.
I don't think it's
No,
about a
it's not
conscience.
about that.
I don't think it's about a conscience.
What is it? Like desperation? Like just
No, I
No.
think some people just see the world differently. I feel like because
Different philosophies.
Yes.
different philosophies.
Yeah, and they
There we
like
go.
might have
because
to
at
do
the end of
it.
the day, like
Yes.
y'all pay for it either way.
yeah.
One
But
way or
I've been on a
another.
lot
One
of
way or
dates where
another,
guys
like-
don't pay.
Cause y'all out here
Really?
The
just letting
fuck?
it-
And you kept
And
going.
What
that's
is
not-
this?
I've
That's-
been saying
that's
this is the
not-
problem for so
Well, you
long.
could probably get money.
It's too many girls out here paying for their dates, and it's just like, why y'all paying for dates so freely? It's
I
just
don't know.
But what are you supposed to do? Okay, here's the thing. Say you're on like a third. This is not actually something I've been through, but like a lot of my friends have. Say you're on like a third date with a guy. You've only ever gotten drinks. Now you've gotten food, and he.
what did you say? The third date, and you just now getting food?
Yeah.
Girl, bye.
What y'all do?
Okay, I know they're getting. You're just
You
the
know,
other dates are
Tori,
getting
you
drinks.
know the energy it takes to
Well, if you
get
just- if
ready,
you just getting
get an
drinks, that's
outfit,
not a
get
date.
your hair
I'm
ready,
getting you
look
drunk
cute,
as fuck.
Okay,
get
but-
there on
but
time.
here's what I
get
wanna
there if you
know.
don't drive. All of that. Imagine how much money you've already spent, and you're gonna worry about whether they pay.
No. What I want to know is when the bill comes and they say, okay, because this has happened to a lot of my friends. They say, okay, so I got this. You know what? I'll leave a little extra
Bye.
more tip.
I don't know what that is.
So then, what do you say to that? You say, no, you should
say,
pay.
you invited me.
You invite. I love
There
this.
you
go.
invited me.
Like, what's wrong with y'all? And this is
Bruh.
the problem.
But
You
I'm
invited
telling
me.
you, so many of my
I
friends
don't know
go
what
through
you're-
this situation.
they crazy.
I'm trying to think if I've ever. This is what actually
If
I don't
you're
even
asked-
offer.
If you're asked out to dinner,
I don't
You're
offer. I'm a
paying
little bit
for
of a
it.
bitch.
presumption is that the person that is doing the inviting is going to pay for dinner.
If I
Point
ask
blank.
you out
Period.
to dinner, then that means I'm prepared to pay for that. I'm trying to woo and dime, boo. I'm trying to get all that.
How
So
often is
you
that
would
happening,
feel. So
though?
you would feel comfortable saying to the guy like,
But we
Don't
do-
women have
I've never
expectations?
had to.
Don't women have
I've
expectations?
never. I'm
happening.
sorry. I didn't mean to yell.
no.
I
But I'm saying like, if I'm in this situation and the guy says something in the terms of like, clearly he wants me to pay some of it, I should go. Oh, it's a little weird because like you asked me. That
perfect.
I don't know if I have the balls to do
You
that.
do
May I-
have the
may I
balls,
ask-
honey.
may I-
You do.
may I
I'm
ask-
looking in
all
the
that
skirt.
red hair.
I don't see
all that
any.
red hair. You have the
And
balls.
just
Can I ask
find
a
that
question?
to be crazy.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Trust me.
No, go ahead because
I just have a question. Aren't there unspoken expectations that women have for men? So don't y'all expect us, like without telling us or even saying it out loud, that we are to pay and we are to plan the dates and we are to do all this?
Yeah, but
to
here-
plan. You don't have to
I
plan.
feel
We
like-
can plan together.
I feel
but
like
you
it
gonna
depends
pay,
on the
brother.
female, right? It depends on the female. Like, there's some females that go off of, like, if you asked her
Thank
out,
God.
then yeah, you should pay.
Yeah.
And then there's some females that if she asks you out, she feels like she'll pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, my girl's like that. Like,
Those are perfectly
what's the
acceptable
ratio?
agreements
Yeah, but-
amongst
What-
people.
Honestly,
but
what is the ratio between women asking out men on dates and vice versa?
It
Like, what is the
happens,
ratio?
but
But what's
I
the
don't know
rate?
what the ratio
Like,
is.
I feel like it's more like
We
men
need a
doing it.
scientist here. I
So
don't
this
know.
is
Yeah,
the
we
thing. Let
need
me
an
say
expert,
this.
a relationship
This is where
expert.
we all fucked up at because nobody's no longer asking people to go out on dates.
What you mean?
yes,
yeah,
true.
that's true. Dates
True.
aren't really as prevalent.
No, what do you mean,
Let's
though?
be real. Let's be real here. Y'all not
I have a
really,
date next week.
except for your ass, cause yeah, you be out here. Never mind.
Don't disrespect me.
No,
What are
I
you saying?
said never mind. I changed the whole subject.
Okay,
I
go
was
ahead.
not
Hey,
even-
go.
Go ahead.
But for the majority of people, most people are not really dating in a sense. It's like people are now meeting up, having the 1-2 questionnaire, the 1-2 synopsis over a drink, and then from after that drink, they figure it out if they want to fuck around or not. If not, they're going home. If not, they're going somewhere else. That's what it seems like happening to people. It seems like, because I don't understand how me as a woman, I'm going somewhere, I'm going to sit down and just have drinks. If I go anywhere with anybody, I'm going to sit down and have drinks. I know what's up for the night.
Yeah. And
there's
I
no
agree
sitting
with that.
down having drinks and there's no food accompanied with that. If I'm going to get drinks, that means it's like, oh boo, like we out. Like,
Can I say something?
so it's I'm confused about this whole dating thing. Like y'all have these words confused with, oh, I'm gonna go date. No, what you're doing is you're meeting up and see if you're gonna go fuck or not.
Oh.
And I totally agree with you, right? Because even with me,
That's what it sounds like to me.
even with me and my girl, like when we first we met at a party or whatever, got her number, we were texting for a while.
Yeah.
And this is me being a smart guy, right? Because I know that certain expectations come with, hey, let's go out to dinner,
Yeah.
right? If I know I got the money, or I know I'm not going to embarrass myself and ask you to pay. No, what I'm going to do is cook at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to put together a really nice meal, and I'm going to invite you
Yeah.
over.
But
Right.
why does it even have
Or
to be
wait
that?
till you get the
I
money.
swear.
Right.
Okay, so when I first met my wife, I had a job and everything, but I was like really poor at money handling, whatever the case is. And that's when I think that's how we bonded in a sense. But I found little cute things for us to do. I got a bottle of wine, got some cold cuts, made sandwiches, got fruits. We would have picnics in Central Park as first dates. Like, so it's just like I'm confused about this whole thing. Like,
I have the best
money
first
is
date
not
ever.
What is it?
I like my first. Were you done? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
go ahead.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
that
so
was my fault.
I like to read, so like my first date is
This would not be a good date for me.
it depends.
Starting.
Oh yeah, you getting canceled.
He's like, I love to read. Anyone
canceled.
who says they like to read or they're a grammar Nazi, I'm like, it's not going to
So
work out.
I like to
between
go to
us.
Barnes and Noble as a first date with the expectation that we both come out with a book
What
by an
movie
author
was
that we
that?
never heard of.
That's
And buy a
cool.
book that we never even heard of, and then we both can like bond over that, you know? Like we walking through the store looking for that book that we're both searching for, and
That only go, and that works for some girls. They'd be like, "Oh my God, he's so different."
Yeah.
You wanna just
I be
eat
getting
an
that,
apple
yo.
juice
But
all
then
the
what do
time.
you do after that? After Barnes and Noble? You only could spend like
No,
40
no.
minutes tops at Barnes and Noble.
some Barnes and Nobles have the Starbucks in there, so you
Oh,
can
so
get
then
the
you'll get a coffee. Okay.
Yeah. And then we go there. We be there till
Mastermind.
close, like
This is just
you know what I mean?
He's a mastermind.
You know what I mean?
Well, I definitely know I'm not getting laid after this date. I'll tell you that
No,
much.
you ain't getting laid, but you gonna want to.
Like my
And that's the whole goal of the date. And this
No.
is why.
That's not my whole.
But
That's not my
it is
goal.
your
Just
goal.
set it up
is your
that
goal,
way.
'cause
What
that's
do you
how you
mean?
Wait,
set it up.
But
I have a
like to
question.
read,
How it's
though.
set up.
I have a
That's my
question.
goal.
Do you
But
pay
that's
for
the
her
thing, though.
book?
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
I pay for the
okay.
book
But
every
that's
week.
okay. But see, this is what I'm trying to say. Like,
Invest.
this is the whole. And this is why I have a whole problem with people and their whole thing, because it's just like the hidden agenda. That is so. When you really like somebody and you really want to be into them like that, then that's what you do for. But if you do that for everybody on your first date, that's just your setup to get to the pussy.
Everybody wants to fuck though. Everybody, both men and women.
I understand that. I'm not. Did I deny that?
But
at
I'm
all?
saying, but that's
But
especially
all
for
I'm-
everybody.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I'm not denying.
I'm doing
that.
too much. I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is, like, when you present a date like that, like, if you do it for somebody you genuinely like and care about, that's great. But when you do it for every first date,
I didn't say that.
when you do it for every first date, it's a play on being. That's a playbook. That's a page out the playbook. Like, yeah, bitches. Like, first of all, when I tell you bitches and hoes and niggas and shit, I don't know y'all niggas' names and shit, so just take it, okay? Thank you. But that's just a play on people's emotions. That's a play on, like, you know how to tug at somebody's strings to be like, oh my God, they're so different, they're so that. And somebody who doesn't know any better, who can't see game, they'll be like, oh my God, this nigga's so good and so different. But in reality, it's just more game.
No, but like I don't. Okay, I'm correct.
I'm
I
not
don't- I
opposed
don't-
to game.
I don't do that for every first date. Mind
only
you,
does
I'm not.
that's just something
I'm
I'm
not
not.
opposed.
I'm
I like
opposed
a
to
female.
No,
game.
but
I love some
I
good
genuinely
game. I like a
read a
female
lot.
game.
So like
No,
I like to read.
And
So
I believe that.
That's
I
a good
believe that.
excuse to
But
get a
you
new
know
book.
what? But I believe that. But I also believe, like, that's also your charisma to, like, make people.
Right. You're like one step away from being the guy who has like a flip phone. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he has a flip phone? Oh my God. My cousin, he's 21. He has a flip phone. He probably is like the most laid 21-year-old in New York, because every girl is like, He has a
Wait.
flip
I listened to the
phone?
show. Is
I
this
would
the
think
one
he's
that
broke.
smoked? That was
Yeah,
smoking weed in the
that
house
he lives with my
before?
parents.
Okay.
He lives at home with my parents, and he has a flip phone, and he just
They be
like he's
"Oh
always
my
getting
God,
laid.
He don't be on Instagram. He don't got social media.
Exactly.
He's so different.
It's
And
hot
they
when a
be
guy
so-
is
yes,
like-
and they be throwing him, and that's what I'm
Different.
saying. Like that's that throw the pussy. Like oh, they be like, oh my God, he bought me a butt, girl.
Yeah.
He's
He
so
care about my
enlightened.
mind.
But the
He's
good
so
news is,
enlightened.
if like you ever ended it and she was like really into you, she would go to like every bookstore just looking for you.
Yeah. But
She'd be like, "Where?"
Stalking fucking Barnes and Noble.
I shouldn't have said it on the podcast.
No, I think that's so cute.
Yeah, well, that's how it
why I did
goes.
that.
Because, yo,
It makes
can
good-
I ask a serious
it makes
question
good
to my
episode.
co-host right quick? Have y'all ever gotten checked for something y'all said on this podcast? Like, have you ever gotten a text message about something you said on this podcast? Just me?
No.
Oh, shit, I'm fucking up.
It's really funny because like when I go on these like dates, mostly the dates that I go on that like through apps, I bless you. I always don't think people are listening to my podcast because I'm like, I just don't think that people would listen. Like, why are you going to spend the time? I mean, they're curious, Google. But a lot of the time, the guys will be like, I listened to the podcast with you and your mom. And I'm always like, which one? And they're like, this episode. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck did I say in that episode? But to me, it's like weird though. Because they also are like, oh, I feel like I'm coming into this date with like an upper hand because I know so much more about you than you probably know about me.
Oh my God.
Don't you respect it, though? Like, they give a fuck enough to research
Yeah, and obviously
you
I
and, like,
want it out there because like I want it out there, but not like to the person next to me.
Can we talk about that podcast, though? Like, whose idea was it? Like, why did you feel comfortable initially going to the idea of that
Why
podcast
is
with your mom?
So dope.
Yeah.
She's so cool. Shout out Lulu.
Can y'all adopt me?
We love you.
Yeah,
She's everybody's mom.
She is.
she's everyone's on. So basically, it started because last year this time I went through like a really bad breakup. This was the guy who like seemed so nice, and we were gonna move in together.
Fuck him.
Bless you. And it was very serious, and then he like broke up with me out of nowhere, and it was like really traumatizing and like one of these like blindsiding breakups. And he was very close to my family too.
Air sign.
His birthday was October like 16th or 18th or
Libra.
something.
Bruh.
What is
Air
that
sign.
bad?
Yeah, they so fucking flighty. I keep
They
telling
are.
We out
So
here. Libra
fucking
season on the
flighty.
way.
I didn't know. Anyway, so it was like out of nowhere, and he was like really close to my family. So my mom was like so pissed about it too.
Yeah,
And
of
she
course.
she was saying really mean things about him, and everyone always told me my mom was funny. And then I basically we were doing videos at first where it was like I was just asking my mom about dating advice, and then people were like, we want it longer, and then I was like, well, I don't want to do like longer videos. It's a lot of work. So I was like, oh, I'll just do a podcast
Nice.
with her, and that's like how it started developing.
When you guys talk about everything, like, was it like natural? Like, do you have to have a relationship, or did you feel like you had to ease into talking about like sex? And
Yeah, I mean, I
shit.
definitely like me and my mom. I've always been very close, and I definitely think like after the breakup, I started telling her about dates, but I wasn't like going into detail. But then once the podcast started, I was like, I know if I tell my mom about like, oh, I had sex with this guy. Now I'm not going into like complete detail where I'm like, Mom, I blew him and he had the balls of I've never tomatoes. Like I'm not like going into that detail, but I am telling her I like slept with him, and I think most people would feel weird.
Yeah.
But definitely like it took time to do that. But I also know that people don't have that relationship, and like the more I keep talking about it with her, the more comfortable I feel. And I also know it makes like people want to hear because it's like different.
It's a genius idea, and it works so well because I feel like I wish. No, I actually don't wish. I don't want that relationship with my mom because I feel like I don't want my mom.
That
thinks
would be
about me.
weird, Jeff.
Yeah, I feel like my mom like thinks I'm like a hoe on the low, but
Right.
God.
like just to have that comfort level with your mom and just like talk about shit candidly, like openly, it's beautiful. It's
You
dope.
guys
Right.
have a great dynamic. Just obviously you're related, but you just have a great chemistry together.
You are
Yeah.
your mother's
The
daughter.
first
for real.
episode I listened to,
Definitely.
within 5 minutes, I was cackling down the street. I'm not
Really?
even
Okay.
exaggerating. So I like binged all the other episodes. I was like, this shit is great. Like it's like you said, it's genius.
Have you
Yeah.
noticed like more similarities that you have with your mom through doing the podcast? Or just-
Totally. Yeah, and it's really funny though too because like I mean, I always like knew the story of how her and my dad met. My mom was like a fitness instructor at this like tennis place, and my dad went there because he was at dental school, and like a lot of the dentists would go. And my mom would always say like how he was flirting, and then he was an asshole, and then he left for 6 months and came back. And the more my mom keeps talking about my dad, how he was an asshole, and I'm like, and then she yells at me because I date assholes. I'm like, Mom, I am literally like, I date like who you I think would date now if you were 28. So I definitely think in that sense like we're really
Interesting.
similar. I mean, she got married when she was 24, but like even the way she talked about her dating life is like very similar to like how I feel like I do my dating life.
What's your relationship like with you have a sister, right?
Yeah, I have a
What's your
sister.
relationship like with your sister? Is it just as open as you are with your mom, or?
No, so my sister is she's 31, and she's like very different than me. She's like married to like a doctor and has like a baby, and like we're very close, but she's just like we can't.
You're polar opposites.
Yeah, like I can tell her stuff, and she came on the podcast, but we didn't release it. But she was before the podcast. She was like, "Just letting you know, like I don't want to talk about sex." And I was like, "Okay." Like, but I think like me and my mom are like more open than like me and my sister. But also my sister like doesn't really give me much, so most of the conversations with my sister are just like me talking about myself for an hour.
Does that bum you out?
Here's the thing, like that's been my whole life, but when she got pregnant, I was like, I am gonna be such a good sister. Like I'm gonna ask her every day how she's doing. But my sister was so not used to me asking how she was that she literally like had nothing ever to say. And then we would get into fights. I'd be like, Rachel, you don't say anything, and she'd be like, I have nothing to say. I'm like, you don't want to like be mad at your husband or like be annoyed you're pregnant, and she'd literally be like, no. And I'd be like, well, back to me then. I guess we'll just talk about myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, my sister like she just is very like selfless and just we're very opposite.
Interesting. But you have a good relationship.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Sweet. Can we speak about like mental health a bit? Because I feel like, well, I don't feel like that. This podcast was birthed from my own depression, from like my overwhelming like need to get that validation from other people, that need to feel accepted from other people, that need to just feel to accept myself. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at a certain point before this podcast. And this podcast kind of helped shape my my vision. And but going into it, I realized it was an oversaturated market. And I feel like you do music. Music is very oversaturated. I feel like comedy is getting kind of oversaturated with the Instagram comedians, the YouTube comedians, the actual comedians. So I was curious if like on your journey, just either throughout your entire life or specifically your career in comedy, like did you have any moments where you felt like you experienced depression or anxiety?
Yeah.
And how did you deal with that? Was it through comedy, or was it just through speaking with other people, or what was it exactly?
Well, I definitely think comedy is like very. It's funny because I think most people that go into comedy or entertainment are anxious people to begin with, and being in entertainment makes you anxious because it's such an unknown world. See what I mean? But then also like I think about if I didn't do any of that, and I'm like, well, I would probably still be anxious and depressed that I wasn't doing it. At least I'm doing it knowing that I'm. Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
Because all my friends that are like, I'm gonna quit. Comedy makes me depressed, and I'm like, yeah, but you would be depressed knowing that you weren't pursuing it. Like, it's still maybe that's. So, I know I'm like a very down. Like, I'm very like happy and bubbly, but I also am a very like down person.
I don't believe it.
I swear to God. Listen to the phone calls with my mom. Like, I'll call my mom being like, I'm never going to get this. Like, I'm not funny. Like, no one knows me. Like, all this stuff. And then I call her an hour later. I'm like, I feel so much better. I got it out. And she'd be like, well, I'm down now. You put it all on me. And I'm like, oh, sorry. Like, she's like, not my punching bag, just like the room where I let like everything go.
But that just says if you're down, you're not down for long, right?
No, but I also have learned over the years to like get out of it a lot quicker. Like,
Because you learn how to release that energy.
yeah,
through
well,
those words. when you
yeah.
say it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, when you say it and you're talking
Sorry,
about
I wasn't listening.
I know.
No, I'm trying. I'm trying.
She said, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
No, I'm trying to do this. Sometimes I talk over people, and I've told myself that I'm actually gonna listen to what people have to. Instead of saying yeah, like yeah, but I want to hear what you have to say.
All I was saying was that you found a way, whatever it may be, or if it's through your comedy or through conversations with your mom, how to actually get that negative energy out. Because words carry energy. So if you're talking about it, then you're probably like releasing it out of yourself.
I never thought about it that way.
In a way, you're cleansing.
That is true.
I feel like it's therapy. Like,
Yeah.
We're giving you little mini therapy sessions. Right
Yeah, this is very.
Have you been to therapy, like an actual like one-on-one fireplace,
Yeah.
leather couch, all that shit?
I love therapy, but I stopped going because she was very expensive. She was like my. I had like an obsession, not like an obsession where I wanted to, like, in a sexual way, just like, oh my God, like, she was my best friend. Like, you know that friend after a date, you, like, can't wait to call and tell them?
Yeah.
That's what she became, but then I was like, I can't afford this friend.
I
Like,
get it.
she's, difficult. But back to, like, she's expensive. Shout out, Mia, if you're listening.
Hey,
Anyway,
Mia.
I don't think she's listening. But Yeah, I think with a lot of people in entertainment just deal with anxiety. And I have like a lot of anxiety too, just like I always keep getting like random phone calls from like stupid people.
Dudes?
No, I wish.
Oh shit.
516. I don't know who's calling me from 516. It's spam.
They're listening.
Yeah.
Whoever they are.
They're listening.
The other day I was like having a whole down spell with my cousin. I'm like, oh my God, my phone is so dry. I'm just like, there's nobody on my phone. Like, I have nobody. I'm just so bored. He's just like, Helena, like, go sit down. You'll be all right.
Helena,
And
you
then
can
what
text me.
happened?
I'll answer. We could talk.
I don't want your text.
No, like we could just. All right.
No funny shit. The text I was looking for was just.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm trying to
I thought
say?
you meant you
Like-
wanted to just talk to someone in
Like,
general.
no, my phone was just dry. It was just
Oh.
like, my phone is dry.
Oh,
but I'm
that's
still not
true.
inviting
I've never heard of
nobody.
someone say that. I'm going to start using that.
Dry.
You want the
But
like the
it's
come
just
through
like, I'm
text.
still not inviting nobody into my DMs except for the person who's already in there.
Ooh.
Subconsciously.
I never get
Oh.
good.
Jeff be making
And it's
shit
just
too
like
hot
for real.
sometimes.
Can we
No.
shout them out real quick? Like,
No,
shout out to the
because-
person in Lenny's DMs. You
No,
took my
Jeff,
advice.
Jeff.
You took my advice. You hopped in the DMs and it worked out. What's up?
Because you
Just
know the
be-
lie, the gag is, it's not who he think I'm talking about right now. You see how that happens?
Life.
I feel like there's a lot of internal stuff. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry. We do that a lot. I'm
But
sorry.
no, yeah,
No.
I'm sorry. But it's just like, shout out to them. Like, I thought that was a cute little surprise this week. But other than that, like, no. But I'm still not inviting nobody to my DMs. I'm still going to be with the dry phone.
What would you say is like the hardest part being a comedian and a woman in the comedy industry? Like, have you noticed like what the hardest part is?
I think I don't really struggle with like being a woman. I think I just struggle with like keep going in comedy when like there's such like highs and lows. Like one day you're like, oh my God, like my script is gonna get this and I'm gonna be this, and then the next like you don't get it. Or like here's a great example. Like I had this manager reach out to me, like a really good comedy manager, and she wrote this email and she was like, I think you're so talented. And like, when you do this, like you like obviously something in you know you're talented, but like to hear it from someone who I guess is like a manager, you're like, oh, they're legit. So, and even though you get laughs every day from audience or videos, like hearing that, so I was really excited. And we had this phone call and I'm thinking she's gonna sign me, and it's like it just really felt like that's where it was going. And then she came to see me perform, and like I didn't feel like it was the best set. And then afterwards she like kind of just like was leaving. I was like, okay, well, let's stay in touch. And it was just so shocking to me because it didn't feel like it was going that way. The best way to describe it for like non-people in the entertainment industry, it felt like I was on a date that I knew I was going to have sex at the end of the night. And then I didn't. And then they left. And then I became very desperate. And I was like, well, what would it take for you to sign me? And then I know, I can't believe I said that would be like a guy being like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with me? You know what I mean?
What can I do to hit it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's all it is. I swear, that's all it is.
What will it take?
What will
Ciara's
it take?
nuts.
Yeah.
That's it.
What
nuts.
can I do?
And then, and then she said some shit. She was like, well, I would have to think like how to brand you. And then I was like, what? Like, I
You're
feel
your
like,
own
No,
brand.
you don't
Like,
need
you're
that.
your
Right.
own brand.
it was
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
wait, but then
Yeah,
my
you're easy to
favorite,
market.
but then my favorite part was prior to that, I have a pop socket of like my face on it. You guys, if listeners know a pop socket is that
Yeah.
thing that like pulls
Let
out
me
from your
see,
phone.
let me see.
Yeah. So she looks, prior to saying that, she looked at that and of my face and she goes, oh my God, can I have one? And I'm thinking to myself, wait, bitch, you're telling me you don't know how to brand me, but yet you want a pop socket of my face. I said the best way to describe it, that's like a guy being like, I don't want to sleep with you, but send me some nudes.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but that was like that was recent. That was a very low moment because you think you're getting this thing and she's giving you all these like, oh, if this is what a manager does and I'll help you get into these rooms. And so you're thinking, oh my God, this is going to make my career. And then like the next thing, it's like, they're not interested. So it's kind of, there's so many highs and lows. So I think you really have to learn how to like deal with it. And I'm getting much better at like being less emotional about it, but also trying to appreciate the high moments, like take it in more.
You're independent, so you have no management.
Yeah, no.
Is that so? That's the goal. Is to get. I don't understand. Like comedians, I don't know what they're like.
What the threshold of success is.
Yeah, like is it to
Yeah.
be? Is it to get a Netflix special at this point? Is it just to be recognized? Is it to set up shows
Is it to
constantly?
be
Like
Amy Schumer, like she was one night nobody, the next day it was like everybody
Yeah.
in America had
she's
her.
not funny, by the way.
I think she's funny.
I don't know either way.
In my
Right.
opinion.
But I think also a lot of people, like even when you get like a manager, then you're annoyed because you feel like they're not doing anything. So like it always is like the grass is always greener. You know what I mean? And I think success in comedy is different for like different people. Like I think like if I knew I was really successful, it would be like me going to different cities and like selling out shows, whether that's like the podcast or like just me doing stand up. I think that's when I'm like, oh, I've like made it, or like this is it.
Do you do you have like a special out, or is that your goal to create a special, like a full set of like 30 minutes, an hour?
Since you
like,
have a film degree.
Yeah, since I have a film degree. I guess like I have like 30 minutes, and like what I'm trying to figure out is like, yeah, I'm trying to create like what type of show I want to do, because like in November I'm going to be doing like a live show of the podcast in the New York Comedy Festival. You guys should come. I'll give you the date.
Fucking be there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
But I'm thinking like, do I want to do like how long of the podcast do I want to do, or do I want to do just half an hour of stand up? But I think
do
like
a one-woman show.
one-woman show.
I don't compare you, but I feel like
Uma Thurman?
Uma Thurman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have
yeah.
Tracy Ullman energy.
I grew up watching her. And
She's
feel like
so
that was,
funny.
like, my favorite comedian
I love
growing
that
up.
show.
watching
She's
her
so
show.
funny.
So like you kind of give me that.
Yeah.
In a sense, but a whole different spectrum.
You're
where
unique.
You're gonna like spend some whole. It's like Tracy Ullman splash some Larry David, some Rosie.
Ooh, wow.
You shake it up and then you add a little bit of Vulgar and Chris Rock and you shake it up some
Oh
more.
my.
And that's you.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I keep that
That's fair.
recording forever? Anytime I feel shitty, I'm literally just gonna listen to it and be like, yeah, you're right. You're fucking right. I'm a fucking jar of all these
And
people.
I don't want to like tell you what to do, but like my favorite comedian right now is Andrew Schultz. And,
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, so he has like his own YouTube channel. He puts his own clips up and his own specials on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing that already, I feel like you should do that, because I feel like YouTube is like, maybe you may not make money, but you'll get attention through Instagram and YouTube simultaneously.
Make
Like,
it
you'll
and
get
the money
attention.
will come.
Cause like,
Yeah.
Just do
Yeah.
your thing and everything will come to you. But you
Yeah.
have so much talent. You're so funny. You're so.
This is literally therapy.
it's
This is
effort.
you're literally
amazing.
honestly like, what we're like, if we're giving you advice, if it's like
No,
we're giving you
yeah, like,
advice,
I-
like it's not.
No,
that.
this is
Love
like
your
good
show.
advice.
Because
But
when our
your
comedy
talent-
special comes out, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
yeah.
we have one
Mine's
coming
coming
out. But
your talent is like really undeniable, and your confidence is very apparent. So like, you're gonna make it regardless. It's just a matter of timing, you know.
Yeah.
So whatever medium you decide to like put your comedy out, it's gonna be successful.
And I like how when we actually wish your definition of success, you was just like, me going to cities and selling out shows. It's not about
That's doable.
everybody knowing you. Like you can go to any city and sell out any show, like
Yeah.
any theater. Like that's doable. But it's just like for you just to have that much, it's just like you're gonna get so much more.
Go to the cities where your podcast uses the most numbers in. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good start.
But it's also funny because now I'm like starting to get like noticed people on the street, like for my Instagram videos. And it's like, obviously you do these things because you want to get recognized. But when it happens, it feels very weird. And like, I don't consider myself, people who don't do like videos or Instagram, for someone who has like 35,000, which is what I have, they're like, you're famous. And I'm like, I don't consider myself famous. But they'll be like, you're the famous girl. And then I'll always say no. And then they'll like DM me and they'll be like, I saw you in Queens. Why did you say no? And I was like, because I don't consider myself that. But I guess I'm always thinking there's like, oh no, there's another girl they're talking about.
Okay, so
I
to
getcha.
piggyback off of Jeff's earlier question when he asked you about being a comedian and how sometimes people who suffer from depression or anxiety, they use that as their medium.
Right.
Moving forward in your career and having fame, do you feel like the fame and the notoriety is what makes comedians have suicide attempts? Where you have people like Robin Williams and who did commit suicide for his depression and anxiety in a sense. Like, is that a fear of yours to get so big and so top where you no longer recognize why you started?
I don't think
Or is
I'll
that
feel
something
that
like,
way.
is that something comedians think about, or is that just something like people who are on the outside looking and always brand comedians as if you're a comedian, you just automatically suffer from depression, and once you get to the top, it becomes hard. Because even Dave Chappelle had an outbreak,
Yeah.
a breakdown. It's like most comedians, when they get to a certain point, they do have a moment of it's just like it's a breakdown.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I can't speak for like other people, and like I have friends who like don't have any depression or like worse depression, but I also think because stand up and just doing comedy, you kind of have to be in this like mind, like this realm of like you're so in the moment, and I think because you have that amazing ability to do that, but then you also have this like inner demon that forces that ability. Do you know what I mean? Like almost like it feeds each other. Because you're so depressed, you're like, well, when I go on stage, like I don't give a fuck what people think. But then like you still have that other aspect. Does that make sense?
Do you go on stage sober every time?
Yeah.
Okay. And like even like in terms of like a social media following, I feel like people who tune into social media every day and are obsessed with that app or whatever app they follow you through, I feel like they look at you as kind of like that beacon for like escape each day. Does that add any pressure to you? Like, do you acknowledge that fact?
I don't know. That makes me like really happy knowing that like people. This girl listened to my podcast. She's like going through treatment for I forgot what she's going through treatment for, but she was just like, I'm going through treatment. I think I forgot what. I don't know if it's cancer, but something like very serious. And she's like, I'm going through treatment, and my mom came and they started listening to your podcast, and just like knowing that like I made her laugh like makes me feel like so good. Cause like I'm only like. You're doing comedy, right? Because you're like selfish and you're like, I like being the center of attention. But then also knowing that it makes other people like laugh, like that feels so good.
Okay.
You never feel the need to like just detach and just like get away from all that at times? Because like,
I mean, I'm really not at that level. I would like to be at that level, being like, guys, please. No one is coming knocking on my door besides like my deli guy who's like.
No, not even that though. Just for your own, like, because like I feel like to post every day and like. Have to put out a funny video or whatever or post every day. I feel like that's like pressure because like I'm not like that every day, you know. So do you feel that?
I'm starting to see a difference with her compared to other people because there are people who like have that fame and they do have those breakdowns where they're just like, I'm not used to this fame every day. But I feel like with you, and don't feel the way when I say this. Yeah. You like a Larry David asshole. Maybe that's why I use those people in a sense because you don't hear like dumb and depression. It's just like there really are. There are comedians who are just like feeding their ego and being assholes, being who they really are at the same time, saying what they truly feel. Right. And it's just like you can't blame me for that because haha, it's funny. Yeah. Right. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so I kind of feel like, okay, now I get like in the sense like you are a different comedian in that sense. It's not just depression that drives you. No, but I think like anger drives me. Yeah. Like
anger?
Yeah, like when I think I'm the funniest on stage when I'm like talking about something fresh. Like I just went through like a bad date. And I'm like, oh my God, you're never gonna believe this date, and I can't believe this. Or this skateboarder broke up with me. Like when you have like emotion with your jokes, like it makes it so much funnier.
He's a skateboarder. He can't even drive a fucking car. Like
right, yeah. So. Like my favorite comedian. There's this one comedian, Jessica Kirsten. She's like not like super famous, but she's very famous in like the comedy world, and like she's just very not angry on stage, but just very like, oh, I can't believe my life, and this is it, and like I don't know, I think that's like really funny type of humor.
People can relate to that in a sense. It's just like, people wake up, they're just like, oh my fucking life, like I can't believe. So yeah.
So you draw most of your sets from personal experiences. So let's say like you have a show tomorrow, but nothing happened this week. What do you do then?
Well, I'll do like older stuff.
Yeah, you pull that emotion and how you felt in those moments.
No, sometimes that's the thing. Like sometimes you're having really good sets because like. You're emotionally connected and the audience is there, and then sometimes you're like, wait, that joke worked 3 days ago, but why is it not working today? And you're like, well, maybe I wasn't like fully emotionally invested. It's like psychological stand-up too. You have to like switch your mind to be like, okay, this, even though I said this thing and wrote it like 7 months ago, I have to act like it still happened. So that's why sometimes you talk to your comedy friends, you're like, this joke used to kill, why doesn't it kill anymore? And then it's like, well, have you been using it too much? Like, do you not have like the emotional connection? It's like you have to write the joke, but you also have like, to have the emotional connection. There's like so many different parts to it.
Have you dealt with any hecklers, and like what would you do in those moments?
I actually really like hecklers. I like doing like crowd work, so I'm like excited about it.
You feed off that, right?
Yeah, I'm like, let's talk. What do you want to talk about?
If I was a comedian, I would just get on everybody who's in the front row. Like I would just disrespect them like completely. If I was a comedian. Because I feel like that's easy. Because like you could just come up with like your own idea of this person, and it's not even them at all. You know. So, but do you like? Yeah, hell yeah. Wait, do you you interact with the crowd during your sets as well?
Yeah.
You ask questions and.
I think if it's like appropriate, not like I mean like if it's like feeding off of what I'm saying or something happens, then it feels right. Also, I feel like I can get away with saying things to the audience because I like look kind of like this like innocent girl, and then I say something and they're like, oh, like where did that?
Like a sailor.
Yeah, like she looks like 12, but like why is she like a little bitch? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna hop in her DMs later.
Yeah.
Yo, I swear. I'm so inspired by people who do things that like I know I can't do. Like I think I'm funny, but I couldn't do a whole 30-minute set of jokes, right? So like, what is like your motivation each day or each night you have a set or each day to like keep going? Like, is it the need to the need to get acceptance from like the comedy community? Is it just because it's your personal goal, you just want to keep going, you want to be the best? Like, what keeps you going each day to keep writing these jokes and keep going on stage whatever night you go on stage? Like,
I feel like now I've like made the decision that like, okay, this is like what I want to do and I can't really go back now. Do you know, like you have to, kind of what I said earlier, like I would be, if I didn't do it, even though like comedy is very up and down and emotional, like I would still be very depressed if I didn't do it too. So like you have to keep doing. I think unfortunately, like being in entertainment, it's about like my friend said, he was like, our field, you constantly just have to keep putting stuff out, and like that kind of sucks. But like you just can't. That's like what you signed up for.
You have no choice.
Yeah, you have no choice.
so what do you? But what do you do? Like you have no choice, but you have a creative slump. Like, and what do you do then? You make up shit.
I think you.
Take a break.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's not that
Take a break.
But if you're an independent comedian, like you have no.
Or like
full-time
I'll
job,
focus.
If that's your only source of
People
income.
have to realize, like, okay, even on national networks, even seasons, shows go through seasons. You do your season, you take your break, then you come back next season. It's up to you as a creative to figure out what your season is.
But yeah, but I feel like if you're
and how long your season will be when it comes
Or
to creating content.
That's where I am right now.
If you're an up-and-coming comedian or an artist, you got to remain consistent with your content. Like you can't just take a week off. You got to, or you can take a week off.
But so
like,
this is the thing, and that's why I always tell people.
You gotta be consistent.
You take 3 weeks and all you do is film. Like in your sense, or people who have to create content on Instagram, my tip is always to film. Have shit on the back burner. Have shit in your notes. Have things ready so that when you need that break, you can still post every day.
Go back to it and
without making it seem like you're on a break. But nobody knows you're on a break. Like you could be on vacation, but you still have content ready to go. Stuff ready to go. Stuff waiting in the background. I have so much. I may not post every day. Like people may not post every day, but that doesn't mean like when I really want to break, like I can just release stuff every day because I'm ready.
It's different though. Like when you're making money off this shit, like if this is the only thing you got, like not only thing you got, but like
especially
you gotta
if you're making money off of it, you should you have to work smarter, not harder.
Facts.
Totally.
So to all my creators and influencers, my best bet and I feel like my best advice I give anybody is create. Take a month where all you do, and I think even Sophie Turner said it on our interview last week, a few weeks ago.
It was last week.
Well, last week. Yeah, okay, last week when she was just like, sometimes all the models get together, they rent an Airbnb, and all they do is create content that whole weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're always creating content, you can always have a little mini break before you completely have a breakdown and you melt down. Take your 2 weeks and have stuff on a burner to always.
I feel
release.
like comedy and like just podcasts and music are all synonymous with each other because like I feel like people's attention spans are so short. So I feel like you gotta be in their face even if you're like not completely motivated. Because like people forget like and people care like stop caring.
But those are not your real fans.
Facts. But at the same time. I feel like every
J.
fan
Cole doesn't promote anything. And I hate to, people, I love to use J. Cole, but
I like J. Cole.
He doesn't promote much until for real, up until right before he's about to release.
Get it?
But his your fans, the people who really mess with you, they're gonna flock to your.
And they're not gonna have any expectations of
Beyonce,
what they feel that you should be doing.
I hate to use Beyonce because she's just so she's the queen bee, but it's just like she's the perfect person. I'm sure sometimes she'll give us an album. She recorded probably 3 years ago, but we just not getting it today.
We just didn't know.
But also that's why you always see celebrities like go on. They're always on these like elaborate vacations, and then you're like because they just like did like a world tour.
Yeah.
Like they deserve fucking 3 days without like a paparazzi.
That's why I say it's just like you work. You keep putting that content out there. You keep creating content so you have a fucking mind blow, and then you take a break. But then you take your 2 week break, but you can still release a video a day.
Yeah. And I was about to say,
because that's all it takes, a video, a post a day. You don't have to post 5 times a day. You're just oversaturating yourself.
And that's
at
what I was
that
going to
point.
say, like the intensity doesn't always have to be the same. Like, yes, consistency is critical.
Yeah.
But just like you said, like you don't have to post 5 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're at the height and the peak of whatever you're promoting your campaign, like, yeah, obviously you want to go fucking ham. You want to flood the internet. But let's say, like, everything goes up and down. You know what I mean? Everything fluctuates, so it's all right if it gets to a point where it's just like, all right, maybe I just put 1 or 2 videos this week. You know
and
what
the
I
way
mean?
technology works, you know, you can time your ads. Like,
That's
you
true.
have to, like, if you have companies you work for, you have to do ads for. You do those and you time them to go off on your Instagram or whatever social media platform you use every day at a certain sort of time. Like, it just posts automatically.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so many ways
You
to
have to feel
work
that pressure,
smarter. Yeah.
And I try to
that way to alleviate the pressure a little bit. Because, you know, I feel like influencers, comedians, everybody, especially if you use Instagram, social media as your natural platform, it is draining on you in a sense because people expect so much of you. But I also feel like when you're honest with your following in your community, be like, hey guys, I'm not having a great day, love you all, I'm taking a break. It's just like, oh my God, yes, get better. Because even people know you can't overextend yourself.
Yeah. And also
There's
I
a
was
limit.
listening to like some podcast, I can't remember, but or maybe reading an article, but I think they're so hard because it's like there's so many apps, and someone was like, you don't have to be on all of them. Just like try to focus on the few that you want to.
Yes.
And I all like
And
I
what
people will come
generates
to
the
you.
most-
Yeah.
Yeah.
to you. And what generates the most buzz for you? Like,
Yes.
where do you feel the most connection within your people?
Yeah, and try to set like
and keep that
goals
going.
that like actually are like obtainable. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Realistic, yeah.
release like 1 video a week on my Instagram. Like
That's realistic.
that's like realistic, and
Yeah.
like I can feel confident about like I actually think this is funny.
And it'll be like
And it's
a
about-
really good quality
And it's-
video.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
Content,
Take
yeah.
your time.
Quality.
Aren't
Yeah.
unrealistic goals like kind of like healthy though, in a sense, in terms of like motivation?
Unrealistic. But what's the unrealistic goal? Because every goal can be reached.
Right, but in terms of like, so let's say this is our first episode of our podcast, and we're saying already we're gonna do our live show next episode, whatever. Don't you think like having like that
A live show with
uncertainty, like-
nobody there, yeah. Like
yeah, but you don't think like the unreal, like just like the what is seemingly impossible, quote unquote.
Helps you
Yeah,
motivates
to
you.
keep going. Like,
It
don't you think
depends
that's-
on the situation, because I think you should have.
then you can
big
get, like, upset
goals,
about it.
right? Because you also don't want to, you know. Yes, you want to like you. All right, so I was gonna say you don't want to set yourself up to fail, right? Because you don't want to come up with a huge idea that you know you can't do. But then again, failing is how you learn, right? So it goes hand in hand. But I also think it depends on what your goal is, where you're starting. Like, there's too many contingencies to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like that's like somebody who just started rapping today. They're like, fuck it, I'm dropping a platinum single tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, that
You
sounds
may
great.
drop that
and it
platinum
might
single.
happen. Yes, but you.
Well,
but
it
if
happens for the few people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you got to be okay with yourself if you don't actually make a platinum record that next day. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that it was an unrealistic goal, but you still are striving for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the way, you should have a platinum single by now.
This fall, I'm gonna be recording nothing but platinum hits, bro.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm
Do you-
recording real shit.
How do you handle criticism?
Not very well.
So like in terms of like, I don't know if you put jokes or clips of your podcast on your Instagram, and like, or even a picture, as simple as a picture of you. Like, how does that shit affect you when you say someone says you're ugly or your shit's whack or whatever?
Like the internet stuff doesn't really affect me. It's more just like if like other people in my field say things about me, that affects me. Like other like people being like, she's not like, this isn't a funny video. That like doesn't affect me. But like if someone in my industry is like, oh, I don't think Tori's funny, like that affects me.
Are those people
That's
like
the right
quote
Because you
answer.
feel
unquote?
like it's a
have,
professional
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, because they're like
Yeah.
professional.
But are those
or like
people,
that
like-
person didn't book me or something.
Are those people like quote unquote higher than you, like in terms of success, or are those people lower? Because I feel like the lower, I don't give a fuck what you gotta say.
Yeah. I don't even think like I can't even think of anything specific. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking of like
Just in general.
just
yeah.
in general, like general
I don't see how people can hate on you. Like outside of like your concept being good, like you're a good person. You seem like a really nice.
I'm a very good
So I don't know.
person.
I feel like they're either like jealous because you reach like a niche or reach a certain level of like confidence that they haven't achieved yet. It's within
Yeah.
themselves, and I just don't understand how people can hate on
I
you.
don't think anyone in my world like hates on me like for me. I guess like my negative thoughts in my head or like my ego is like, oh, they didn't book me because like I'm not funny. Like they don't like I'm not the funny. You know what I mean? That's like really where it like stems from, but not like, oh, I don't like her. And actually, I don't care if people don't like me. Like I have a friend
That's
in
a good
comedy
trait.
who like is like she doesn't care. She cares less about like, oh, do people think I'm not funny. She's is like, does that person not think I'm a good person? Where like I don't give a shit about that. Like I'll walk into a room and like not talk to everyone, or I'll just talk to people I want to be friends with.
Yeah.
And then she'll like do the same thing, and then she'll be like, but I didn't say hi to this person. Do you think they're mad at me? And I'm like, no. But like that's like her like internal struggle. So everyone has like different
internal struggles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you experienced like some bullshit like of
Yes.
course, of course. Can I finish? Like, have you experienced like, I don't know, like maybe someone stealing a joke of yours or shitting on you or some shit? Like,
No.
Stealing your
Yes,
swag.
I guess you know what? Like when I first kind of like the video, like the concept I had with my mom, right? I feel like some stand up, like some people in the comedy world are like, oh, you're gonna do the podcast with your mom? Like it feels like the way they say it is kind of like,
Snooty.
oh, like
Nose
fucking
in the
hater,
air.
fuck you.
like they almost like, oh, like we get you. You've got like your I don't, like they almost like it's like a down. It's like okay, like don't be your stupid little idea with like you and your mom. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel
They
like
made it sound trivial. Like
yeah,
something
trivial. Yeah,
elementary.
that's the word.
Meanwhile, they're doing fucking nothing right now. Like,
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so your podcast is with like 2 comedians that get like 5 listeners.
yeah.
I'm like, sorry, my mom brings more listeners than your podcast. Like, what do you want me to
It's
say?
not your fault. It's not your fault. Y'all so dope, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, not my fault.
Can I get your opinion on like self-deprecation jokes? Like, do you like even just like? I don't know. I could never shit on myself to make other people laugh. Like,
Yeah.
that's a style of comedy that works. Like, I don't think you do that, obviously. So like,
No, I
do you-
don't.
like,
I
do
usually
you-
shit on everyone else.
different styles of comedy.
That's my problem.
Different styles of comedy that you don't necessarily do. Do you like accept or do you actually shit on? Like, do
Wait.
do you agree with or
Wait, say that one more time.
like self like? I'm trying to access like I don't know. I'm trying
I want to point
But
out.
isn't self-deprecation doesn't have to mean you're shitting on yourself. You could just be, you're honest about your flaws, and it happens
Yeah.
to be
But
funny.
like I feel like that shit is like that's not good like at all.
What?
No, like it's funny, but like
Sometimes
Not good in what-
I'm
It's
sure
not
there are
a-
comedians that use that to work on their
it's
own
not a
internal
respectable
shit.
way of comedy, in my opinion.
Ay,
like,
Dios
to
mío, qué jodienda eso.
to self-deprecate.
yeah, like
But I also think there's different ways to self-deprecate. Like I'm not going on stage being like, I'm such a loser. Like there are people who do that and they can get away with it because they do look like a loser, so it's funny. But like how I self-deprecate on stage is like, oh my, like I don't know, I keep dating these like crazy fucking weird guys, and like the audience is laughing with me because they're like, oh my god, she's getting so mad about it, and I am mad. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's different ways you're like self-deprecating.
one of my favorite comedians also is like Bert Kreischer. Like he goes on stage like no shirt off, like no shirt on.
Yeah.
And like I feel like he has made jokes occasionally in the past about like his weight and how he looks and shit like that. I just feel like shitting on yourself to make other people laugh to in turn progress further. I feel like that's like backwards.
You
But
think,
like I was
you
saying,
think it's going against some type of integrity?
For some people,
No,
it
not
could be.
integrity. It don't make sense.
For some people, it could be their way of working on their own issues, but
Totally.
using comedy to do
That's
it.
very true.
I agree.
That's
It
their
could be a way.
therapy.
Maybe they're, they realize something
to laugh
about
at
themselves. They
themselves.
may not like it, but by doing it, in a comedic setting, it helps them to deal with it better.
Right. I agree.
Maybe I'm internalizing it and personalizing it because I feel like I would never like disrespect myself and take away love from myself to move.
But
ahead.
maybe that's an ego thing.
I do have an ego for sure. I'm trying to disregard.
Everyone has an ego.
She's been trying to tell me this for fucking 6 months that I have a fucking ego I need to get rid of. But
No,
It's
I,
not-
I
it's-
never said give it up
it's
to
working
ego.
with it.
Like ego you need your ego.
Yeah.
You
You have
gotta
to work with it better,
your
yeah.
ego. Like your ego should not move you to the forefront of anything. Like period.
do you ever get like any creative slumps, like in terms of like you don't want to talk about the shit you experienced 3 months ago? You don't have nothing to talk about currently. Like and how do
Totally.
you work past those?
I just like keep going. Like I'll like call my comedy friends up and I'll be like, do I even have like 10 minutes of material? Like I'm just like, what am I doing? Like just have these moments and then we all do and then we just like keep going.
Like,
It's like almost like you have to just like let it out. Like kind of like what you said, just like
Mm-hmm.
let the thought out and then you're like, it's like a shit. It's like, oh wait, I feel like so much better.
Have you
And
ever-
then you just go.
have you ever freestyled a set? Because I feel like if I ask CR right now, if I put on a beat, he could freestyle a whole 16. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope.
Absolutely.
Have you ever?
I don't see y'all like that, yo.
No. I just hope he's on deck already. If I put on a beat
Always on deck.
right now,
I'm always on deck.
yo, Matt, cue the beat. But like, have you ever like
They were
freestyled like a set?
Yeah, I guess like freestyle is more like considered like improv, just
Mm-hmm.
to go up. But I actually like prefer that. Like, I'd rather
Oh.
just, like, go up and being like, because there's no expectation. Do you know what I mean? But when I have prepared jokes, there's expectation to be like, okay,
it's
well,
gonna
this
hit.
joke should get
Mhm.
this amount of level of laugh because this is what I'm used to. But when you're just, like, saying, there's no expectation. So that's why sometimes when you're saying a new joke, it always sometimes does better than your old stuff because you have no expectation of how it's going to hit.
Because
Yeah.
certain jokes will hit different with different audiences.
Exactly.
So, like, you'll say something, and if it hit crazy here, but at a different show, you use the same material and it doesn't hit, it might throw you off.
Yeah,
if
then you
were
have to like, then
expecting
you have to
it.
listen to your set, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, how did I say it? And then it's like, the more I do comedy, the more I realize like even like the move of my head can make like a joke hit harder.
Right,
Hmm.
right.
It's like
I'm a visual
Interesting.
person. I think I agree with
it's
that.
so crazy.
I agree with that.
What's the hardest part? Oh, go. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What's the hardest part about comedy? Like, is it the process of coming up with jokes? Is it the process of saying the correct tone while on stage to present these jokes to the audience? Is it like if you don't have like enough life experiences to create these new jokes? Like, what's the hardest part for you, in your opinion?
I definitely think the hardest part is just to like keep staying in it because, like I said before, it's like there's so many highs and lows. It's like, I mean, I'm staying in it, but a lot of people I know who are like really good stand-ups like have quit because they're just like, I can't take this. Like, I'm not going. Like, there's no point for me. Like, I'm just a white dude. I'm like, yeah, but you're
Oh,
funny.
wow.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people end up quitting.
Do you have a plan B?
No.
Or is this plan A?
I feel like I don't really have a plan B.
She don't need one.
I
She
already
got
have too much
this.
stuff out there. Like, I don't know. And I did have, like, a job. I mean, so I do comedy, but I also do, like, freelance video editing. But that's, like, becoming less and less, like, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But when I was just doing that full time, I was, like, very miserable.
Yeah.
I, like, hated it. And I also was, like, editing for a YouTuber, which was, like, very painful.
It was a bigger, like, popular YouTuber.
No, it was like a company that I was like. She was the YouTuber for the company, and so that was like I was like, I can't do this. Like this is like exhausting. Just like the same. Like imagine like watching a YouTuber like 8 hours a day. That should be like a jail job.
I've done that before, though. I watch YouTube. I watch.
Yeah,
the
but
vlogs,
editing
the-
like
editing.
like
Hell no.
5 day like
Fuck that.
every day, and it was just like the same girl over. And then it was like a Twilight, and then I was like, it's like all I ever saw.
She was trash. Be honest.
No, she wasn't trash. Her thing was like trying new things. But it would be like trying things that are very, very stupid. It'd be like, I'm going to try to put coconut oil on my body to see
Fuck
if
outta
it gets rid of my rash that I actually put on myself for this video. You
You're
know what I
done.
mean?
You're
Like,
done. I'm not subscribing to your
God.
YouTube channel. You're done. Fuck out of here.
it was just like a lot.
Sounds painful.
It does.
What were you gonna say, Helena? I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
I completely forgot.
Oh. Now to formulate my next question. So do you have did you make any friends in the comedy industry? Like, do you have like people you were connected with that you draw inspiration from, or do you solely draw inspiration from your personal life?
I mean, I have a lot of friends in comedy, and I think they like inspire me, even if it's like their work ethic or how they are on stage. I think like everyone kind of inspires each other.
Do you enjoy the podcast as much as you enjoy being on stage, or is it more when the
I don't know. I think they're different. I enjoy both of them.
Because I feel both could be equally successful in terms of like notoriety, in terms of like attention, in terms of income. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like podcasts are more trendy, and both are equally saturated. So
Yeah, I think it's definitely hard right now because there's so many of like everything. But I think you just have to think like, okay, I have something, and like, do I enjoy doing it? Like, do I like doing it?
yeah,
Don't just do it because like you think. Like a lot of people will DM me being like, "How do you start making videos? Like, what do you do?" And I'm like, listen, you just have to do like what you think is funny, and don't do it because you like doing it. Don't be like, "Oh my god, I have to do this and I hate it." Yeah, like some days you're gonna feel like that, but like most of the
Do it
time you just
'cause
feel
you
this like
wanna do
urge
it.
inside of you, like you have to pee, like, oh, I have to make a video. Do you know what I mean?
And enjoy
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because I just remembered. So over the weekend, we watched the Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
So I
Same,
noticed
same.
that a lot.
Actually, I
of
was
his,
gonna say.
I noticed a lot of his funniest moments when he was just freestyling it. So my question to you is, as a comedian, do you get the most genuine feedback when you're freestyling on your Yes.
Stuff. Yeah,
Improving.
definitely. And because the thing is, there's different types of writers. Like with stand up, it's like you have the writers who like sit and they like write jokes, or then you have writers who are like, I have a story, I'm gonna tell a friend, I'm gonna see where they laughed, and then I'm gonna go on stage and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna see where the audience laughed, and then from there, then you have to like cut it, and then sometimes an audience member will ask you a question, and then it will like form a new ending to the joke. So it's like that's like exciting to develop.
No, I felt like that was really cool in his stand-up. Like the most time I laughed, it was just like, oh, this guy is just like really being an asshole. He was just like, yeah, I paid $800 for these seats. I just give the show Atlanta for 60. It was just like, oh, you asshole.
Oh my god, the Michael Jackson thing was like so wrong, but so funny.
That shit was hilarious.
And can we talk about like the
Yeah. Do you think those guys watched it, by the way? No, right?
By the way, that fucking HBO doc Vivi Neverland shit was bullshit. But like
I know.
What? Go ahead.
We remember we did an episode about
we
that.
did.
Yeah.
But like,
and I was the only one, like, we're not talking about MJ like this.
Do you fear, like, maybe not fear, but like, is it in the back of your mind that you may get negative feedback and widespread attention for something you may say through a set? Like Dave Chappelle has gotten through his most recent special?
Yeah, I definitely think I'm like more aware, but it's hard in this world. It's hard because like everyone's just so fucking offended
and sensitive.
Like, for instance, okay, like, do you guys watch the show 90 Day Fiance?
I used to. I don't watch it.
Okay, I wish I did.
It's just basically like a show about people. There's always like one American and they always fall in love. Yeah, they fall in love with someone who's like not American.
Oh, they fall in love.
Sounds tragic.
Yeah, they fall in love. But anyway, like, it's so big right now, and like I was filming it on my Insta story, and then I was like doing the commentary, like I was doing their accents, and like I was doing this one woman, and she was like a Midwestern woman, and then I was doing this guy from Africa, and I like thought like I wasn't doing an African voice because he was black. That's what he sounded like. Yeah. And then my friend was like, I think you're being, she's like a white girl from Ireland, so she was like, I think you're being racist.
Fuck you.
And I was like, I understand where you're coming from, but also like I'm not doing the accent because he's like a black guy from Brooklyn. Accent. Like that would have been racist. But like I did a pretty good job at doing the accent. And then, but I think it's so hard now because people, you have to be like a little like, ooh, like this that made me uncomfortable. But it's just so hard now.
Say what you want.
When you look at certain shows, like The Office years ago.
Oh my God, that was so sexist,
never
but so
survive
funny.
now.
Yes,
or Entourage.
Entourage
was so funny.
Wouldn't have survived today because people are so sensitive. Like the first episode was like, no, this is just, and it's just bullshit. It's just like it's comedy. And like, at what point do we say it's okay? Like,
I think it's going to become less than, I think now we're at this like peak where like everyone is so sensitive and like, but I think it's like,
and that's why I love Dave Chappelle's show so much. It was just like,
he hit on so many points.
It was so many points, but at one point we all thought about that. We all had set that in our heads. It was just like.
We didn't say it out loud, but he did.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's good at that.
Bro, you can't click on a Netflix special and then get offended by the shit you clicked on. Like, this is what you were expecting from this person.
But
like,
if you did get offended halfway through, you turned it off, then you turned it off.
But even like,
corny. Get the fuck out of here.
Like my friend, like Maddie Smith, I forgot what she did, but she there was she like reposted a girl, something about a library. Don't remember, but like then it basically went viral. Her tweet went viral because my friend was making fun of this girl, how she was like, the library is a great place. I don't know what she said, but it was like funny. And then my friend was making fun of it, that you were like, you don't know what a fucking library is, or I can't remember exactly. And then like Chrissy Teigen like picked up the tweet and was like, why are you making fun of people that go to libraries? Like, just like crazy shit. But I was like, this girl's just not making fun of.
She needs to shut the fuck up sometime. Like, Chrissy's cool, but she just shush.
What does she do? What does she do exactly?
Like some stuff I feel like she just be talking just to be
She's
talking.
a tastemaker, one of my friends said.
Shut the fuck up,
It's
Chrissy
just like,
Teigen.
okay, Chrissy.
Yeah.
But John, I love you. I love you, John. I want to interview you. But,
yeah.
Like, doesn't that sensitivity bother you? Like, it affects you?
It's really difficult as like a comedian.
Like, you should be able to make a joke about a black person. I don't care if you're white. You should be able to, it's a joke.
Well, actually,
if I'm tuning into,
it's just
you can't say nigger, but you can
make
a joke about a dark skin dude.
It depends on the joke.
Yeah,
it really depends on the joke.
It can't be
like not for nothing.
It can't be blatantly offensive.
When it comes to comedy, I'm not gonna say like you should just make fun of other races, but I feel like this is the stereotypes. Because we all have a stereotype that we believe on some way or level. So it's okay to make jabs at those things. But when you're just out there criticizing one race or another race, whether it's black, Irish, Jewish or whatever the case is. It's just like it can become insensitive, but it's just like I'm a very big fan of freedom of speech. Be who you are, and if shit is funny because even Dave Chappelle had a lot of funny tranny jokes in that shit.
Yes.
And it's
That
just,
shit was
it's just
hilarious.
fucking
It was
funny.
just funny.
Yeah.
Because we were
Out.
you're thinking
Like,
it,
shit
but
is
you're not
funny.
saying
Yeah,
it.
it's just
Yeah.
like when niggas want to go to the bathroom, it's just like you have a whole penis, but you want to go to the women's bathroom, it's just like you still have a penis. Like,
Right.
The shit is funny and insensitive is insensitive. Like you know when somebody's being an asshole on to some level, and you know somebody's just being a comedian. And I feel like people need to start getting back to that. It's funny.
And I
if
think
it
we're
made
going
you
to.
laugh,
We
then it made
It's
you
okay.
laugh.
We have
It's
to.
It's okay
okay.
if it makes you laugh. Like, yeah. Like,
If you feel a way, ask yourself, look in the mirror, like, am I a pedophile or
Yeah.
am I a racist? Because that's the only time you're gonna feel away with some of these jokes. Because
Right.
reaction formation.
we have to actually wrap up.
Let's
so
wrap up.
we'll end with this. So we have this segment on this podcast called "Don't Sleep," where basically we recommend to the audience something they shouldn't sleep on, and that could be a piece of advice. It could be as simply as simply as they shouldn't sleep on you. And my don't sleep this week is people shouldn't sleep on acceptance of themselves. Like I feel like especially in our community, the Black community, like I feel like we there's like a weird like colorism between light skin, dark skin. Like whether I'm as dark skin as CR or as light skin as Lainey, like you should still accept yourself and love yourself and appreciate yourself because like no matter what skin tone you are, like you're still an individual. You still make a difference in this lifetime, and don't let the opinions of whether you're family members who abide by those old school rules affect your psyche, or the opinions of your friends or whatever. Like just accept yourself and love yourself and appreciate your skin color, and just be yourself. Like it's not that I'm saying it's not that hard, but like it took me a while to get to this position where I can confidently say it's not that hard to be yourself. And yeah, like just be your fucking self, live your fucking life, do what you want to do comedy, podcasts, whatever, talk shit, and just have fun because this shit ain't guaranteed, especially for people of color. This shit ain't long term for everybody. And this shit ain't for everybody because people have died at birth. You know what I mean? People haven't gotten an opportunity to exist. So just enjoy your life, embrace the opportunity you've been given, and just live, please. So CR, Coco Laney, if you have anything people shouldn't sleep on, please let the audience know.
I got two things.
Oh.
One, yeah.
Oh.
No, I insist.
More? No, I'm joking.
No, go ahead, Jeff.
I have one more. Don't sleep on the Sir album. That's all I'm saying.
Who's
Okay.
album?
Sir, from
Okay,
TDE.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm also gonna shout out our album. This dude is from my neighborhood, Roselle, USA. What's good? Crutch Calhoun just dropped an album called Loco. Shit is fire. Definitely check that shit out. It's on all major streaming platforms. And
Wait, is that the song that's like "Da Loco"?
no,
Oh shit!
I wish I
sorry.
knew those guys.
I was like, wow.
I
I was like,
wish.
that's cool.
I wish.
Also, did you guys like my beat that I came so hot? I was like, "Da Loco." No,
No,
okay.
I know what you're saying.
Freestyle
I knew
over here.
exactly where it was coming from, though. But no, not that song. And I will also say, don't sleep on the present. You know, take advantage of today. Live every day like it's your last, because one day that will be true.
Lainey, Coco, do you have anything people shouldn't sleep on this week?
I was gonna say don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say don't sleep. I've said it before. Two things. Don't sleep on being grateful, because you should always be grateful for what you have.
What?
And don't sleep on the power of laughter, especially if you're feeling depressed. I was gonna say depressed. Depressed.
Too cute.
I know. Thank you. No. It's just a good way. I know sometimes I'm a wallower, so when I get depressed, I like to sit in those emotions and
Same.
why is me. But sometimes if you can, even if it's like for like a few minutes, if you have the what is it? If you can push yourself rather to just take a moment and like get out of your own head, seek out something funny, and maybe you can wallow in that for a little bit, and hopefully that can, take you to a different mindset for a bit. So gratefulness and laughter.
Thank you for that, because I need to hear that.
Do not sleep on your intuition. If your mind tells you to stay your ass in the house, guess what? Stay your ass in the house. I learned a big lesson this week, and I should have stayed my ass in the house. But, you know, the next time your mind say stay home, like stay home. When your left eye go to jumping, bitch, believe that shit. Bye.
Tori, do you have anything people shouldn't sleep on this week?
I was gonna I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. I was gonna say don't be indecisive. I'm very indecisive, and I'm trying to work on it. Like, I'm like, if I feel this way, don't like call a friend and be like, should I do it? Because I know what I want to do. Like, I just need someone, you know. So instead, I'm just gonna like call myself up and just be like, do you want to do this? And then like be like, yeah, I think you should. Yeah, you're right. I think that's what people should not sleep on
Also,
or sleep on.
where can people follow you if they want to follow you when indulging your content?
Oh yeah, so you guys can follow me on my Instagram. Like I said, I put out like, sometimes like a few videos a week. They're always comedy related. So it's at Tori Piskin, ToriPiskin. And like we talked about also, I have a podcast with my mom called Got It From My Mama.
So funny.
Thank you.
I enjoy it, for real.
Tune into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so basically just a podcast where I talk to my mom about everything you're too scared to talk to your own mom about. And we have a Instagram for that as well. It's called Got It From My Mama Podcast. And check it out on all the streaming platforms.
Yo, thank you so much for coming. Yo,
Thank
for
you
real.
so much
You're
for having
awesome.
me. So
And
fun.
Yo, I hope you want to come back, maybe with your mom.
Oh
one
my
day.
God, we
Yes,
would
that'd
love
be
to
cool.
come.
That'd be so
Bet.
cool.
So if you enjoyed this podcast, whether you're wherever you're indulging at, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, whatever, like please utilize that rating system, because it definitely gives us the motivation, the confidence to keep going, seeing those reviews, those honest reviews. Leave a like or dislike on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at Introverted Intuition Pod. Matt and Brianna, I'm sorry we went over our time, but it was a good episode and we had to. And email us at introvertedpod at yahoo.com if you want to potentially come on as a guest and share your story, just like Tori did tonight. And Tori, again, we appreciate you, and thank you so much for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. Yeah, we're sorry. And thank you.
Still talking.
Yeah.
I'm done talking. I'm sorry.
Still
I
talking.
talk a lot.
Still talking.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my, how long?
No, I was just saying like that. He had that ending going.
I could have kept going.
I know you could have.
I had so much more to say. I'm sorry.
You are officially
But he
the
did the
longest
little-
I really?
episode
He did a little.
ever.
Wow, I guess I feel good.
You're awesome.
Oh, and it's funny, my phone just said the podcast. I don't know why it just said.
You good, bro?
Yeah, I'm good.
You took
This
it.
was
What'd
so
you do?
fun.
You went to the bathroom like that?
I had to
Yes.
use the phone.
Yeah.
Very important phone call.
Oh, really?
What was very important?
It was the boss.
Who?
Your girlfriend or the actual boss?
Why you take your shoes off?
No, her phone. My girlfriend. I named my phone really is the boss.